back with another video. Um, Let me just get my stuff set up here. Make sure everything is good. What am I looking? Oh, this is what I'm looking for. Hold on. Where are all these options over here? Okay, that's live chat. Boom. I think that's what we're looking for. Okay. All right. How's everybody doing? Good to see y'all. Wait a minute. Make sure we get some people coming through. Let me. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'm seeing some people. Okay. Now I'm seeing some people. All right, Elliot, hold on. Um, let's just check on the stream. Hello. I think I'm gonna turn this way just a little. Center it up. I'm just here looking at the stream on my phone. Trying to make sure we're decent. Okay. All right, let's go in there. Healing Daily, Alfonso, we got Sandra, 123, Garden and Grow, D Skizzle, a day late. What up, John? And then John G, Jay Eagle, Rachel, Lucinda, we here. Joe, how you doing? What up, Paige? Wine My Piece. Hello. Kevin, how you doing? Sending love. I'm accepting it, sending it back to you. Philip Plays. Good morning. Morning. What up, Legacy? Hey, good to see you too, Side. Good to see you too. What up, Bill Burr? We got Mario, Chicago, Illinois in the building. Healing. I appreciate you asking people to hit the like button. I always forget. So appreciate you asking people to do that early. Oh, we got North Dakota in the building. Marvel, what up? North Dakota, indeed. Spent some time there myself. That's one of them states I'm like, I need to get back to. One of these days, I got to get back to North Dakota. Fargo, Bismarck, Minot, Designer guy, how you doing? Abundance is definitely in the building, Alfonso. I'm telling you, this is the year of abundance, man. This is the year of abundance. I'm deep in my abundance bag. We're going to be talking about it. The topics are going to get a lot more positive. You know what I mean? And we got a good one today. Healing Daily. Oh, you're down in San Diego? Oh, nice. What up, Retired 2019? Good to see you. Today I want to talk about, amongst other things, because we get all over the place. We go all over the place. We go down rabbit holes, come back up, go down another one. It is what it is. What up, Bill A? But I want to talk about today how we're all right where we need to be to get where we're going. The path to the amazing life we want starts from wherever we're standing today. And I think that's a very powerful message because it's very easy, especially in the world we live in today, where it's never been easier to see what everybody else has and what everybody else is doing and where everybody else is supposedly at in life. I think it's never been easier to kind of get discouraged by where we're at or what we're doing, or feel like we're behind, or feel like we don't have what it takes, or just to feel, less than, or at the back of the pack. But honestly, there is no race. You know what I mean? Like, life is like a race of one. There is no competition. Like, everybody is so unique and everybody is living such different lives, and we all got so many different things, unique things going on, that like there's really nothing other than what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? All there is like me and what I'm trying to do, you and what you're trying to do, and the people we're trying to do it with. Nothing else like really matters. So I think sometimes we get down because, oh, look how old, like age, y'all know me. I don't think we should keep track of our age. Age is one of the worst things for making us feel like we haven't done enough in life. But it's like age has nothing to do with it. Like, if we want to do more in life, well, then today starts the day we go down that path. The path to doing more, the path to having more, even the path to having less, if that's what we're trying to do. The path to wherever we're trying to go just starts right now. You know what I mean? Everything before us, everything in the past led to us being where we are now. And if you think about it, a lot of the things we've been doing up until now that sometimes we feel like, that's what, I wasted so many years of my life, is like, no, the only reason you're where you're at now, where you're really thinking about doing more, growing, leveling up, whatever it is, The only reason you're able to get to where you're at now is because you went through all the stuff you went through in the past. It's like a lot of times we don't want to. What up, T Black? A lot of times we don't want to, like, we don't like to. It's, I don't know, and maybe it is society. I don't know why it is, but like we don't give ourselves credit for like the things we've been through and like how that's what led to us getting where we are. Like, like it's easy to like get to a certain level of understanding and act like we've always been there. You know, you know what I mean? We do it to other people, we do it to ourselves. It's easy to get like to a certain level of understanding, and then we judge everybody else who isn't there, and then we beat ourselves up for not being there earlier. But it's like, the only way we're able to get to where we're at now is because we went through all the stuff that we went through before. And if it took me 35 years to get there, cool. If somebody got there in 25, cool. If somebody doesn't get there until 65, cool. You know, like it's once again, it's not a race. Like, it's your life. It's womb to tomb. You know, so like it's funny that we assume like everybody has like the same lifespan, and everybody's like, it might take you longer to get there, but you might live longer. You know what I mean? Or it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's just it's you can never be behind in life. You know, as long as you have a direction in life, like you're on the right track. It's the right timing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just keep going. All you have to do is just keep going. It starts today. If it hasn't already started, it's if you've already started on the path, well, then you just continue. If you haven't, we'll start tomorrow. Start today. You know what I mean? It's because the reason we're talking about this is because you want as little resistance as possible in trying to go after your dreams. And when we feel like we're behind, or we feel like other people are beating us, or other people are doing better than us, that just puts up more resistance. And there's already going to be like resistance. That's just the way it is. I think we have to prove that we're willing to do what we need to do to have the life we want. I think that's just the way this universe is set up. Honestly, I think that makes it interesting. I think that makes it fun. That makes it worthwhile. If we got everything we wanted right when we wanted it, we wouldn't appreciate it. So I think it's set up that way on purpose. So it's like there's already gonna be obstacles and hurdles and all these other things. We don't want more. Just like adding other people to the mix and comparing ourselves to them, and like judging our growth based on them. Like, it has nothing to do with us. They're two totally different people. They're running their own race. If I'm running my race and you're running your race, how can we be competing with each other? Why would there be competition in life, bro? We have sports for competition, and nice, cleanly regulated, stadiums and courts, and with the referees. Like, how are we competing against somebody in life where there's no set in stone rules? There's no referees. You know what I mean? There's no officials. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, we act like we're competing against people. There's no rules. How? We're right where we need to be to get where we need to be going, as long as we get going. Right? We just got to go. We just got to keep moving. Don't worry about other people. They're getting their blessings. You look over and you see somebody else doing very well in life. That means they've been blessed. They've been putting in the work, and they've been blessed. Why does that make us look negatively at ourselves? That's just like, oh, that's an example of somebody, doing what I'm trying to do. Boom. Let me see how they got there. There should be nothing negative in seeing other people blessed. Hey, that person's been blessed. They've been working. How did they get there? Let me learn from them. Instead of judging myself based on them, let me just be like, okay. Now, if you look over and you're like, let me learn from them. You see some areas like, oh, snap, I could improve in that area. Cool. I could put in a little more work. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's a positive thing too. Once you identify an area where like where we could be doing better, that's a positive. It's not a negative. We like to beat ourselves up. Oh man, if only I'd have been. No, do it now. It's you. Hey, it's great when you identify somewhere where you can improve, because that gives you something to do. All right, I just need to improve over here. Boom. Okay, I got that. Doom, doom, doom. You know, but like we shouldn't be down on ourselves because somebody else improved in that area before us. Like that's just their path. It's everybody's got a different path. Everybody's running a different race. And I think too, it when we look at it that way, we're staying positive. It's almost impossible to get like to put in the work to do what you need to do to really live the life we want to live if we have a negative mindset. There's no growth in that. You're not going to want to, we're not going to want to put in the work if we're negative, if we're depressed, if we're down. It's like when you're up, when you're joyous, when you're excited, when you believe in yourself, that's when you do more. If we're down on ourselves, we don't want to do nothing. You just want to lay in bed. You just want to like do whatever. But like when we're excited, when we believe, when we're up, that's when we do more. So it's all about just like doing what we need, like getting the proper perspective and the proper mindset that we can stay in the mind frame that allows us to continue to go. But when we feel like we're behind or something's wrong with us, like, and all that's just in our head. All that is just in our head. Even if other people have told us that, we believed it, so it's in our head. You know, when we get like that, it's hard to make any moves. It's hard to make any moves. I'm gonna jump back in the chat real quick. Say what's up to some people I might have missed. Our RMJ checking in. Healing Daily went for a hike in the canyon in the name of Tim. I appreciate that. How you doing, Robert Diamante? Great T News. How you doing? Robert dropped down to 4 work days. The lady manager's bitter. Hey, you know, once again, if your path to where you're going doesn't involve working 5 days a week, well, then don't work it. Yeah, like, I don't know why we think of life as I think we're programmed to think of it that way, but it's a lot easier to just think of it as like a journey. I'm just trying to get where I'm going. You know, it's like if you're hiking the Pacific Coast Trail or one of the, you know, the ACT or you're just going on a hike in general. Especially if you're going by yourself. You don't base your hike on how other people are hiking. Like so many times when I'm hiking, I'll see people doing like trail running. So like I'll just be hiking, chilling my own pace, and people are like trail running. I don't get mad and be like, oh man, I'm doing this hike all wrong because people are running up and down the trail faster than me. It's like, no, they want to run fast up and down the trail. I want to just walk it. Like we're not competing. We're just both hiking the same trail. That's all life is. Is like it's not a race. We're just like both. We're just all hiking the same planet. Like you know what I mean? Like we're just all on the same planet. But like I don't have to run it at the rate you're running it. You know what I mean? Like it's not a race. It's just a journey. Exactly, Liam. We try to fit in, but like, I think we try to fit in with groups that don't apply to us. You know what I mean? My friend circle and my my life counsel, people that I've identified I want in my life. Yeah, I want to fit in with them because we're friends. But like, I don't need to fit in with random strangers I see like on the internet. Womb to tomb. Let's go. How you doing, Antoinette? Free Like Summer just started playing the guitar at 36. Yes, life is about the journey. Let's go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Checking in from down under. Hello, hello. Birth to Hearst. You got it. Todd Ryan Casper. Oh, Healing Data is dating somebody you like. Okay, okay. Congratulations. How you doing, Savant Quotes? I mean, summer free like summer. I don't think it's a bad goal to want to live off passive income. I think that's an amazing goal. You know, um, you just got to get there. You just got to figure it out. You know, and if you see somebody else who has figured it out, that doesn't mean like they're smarter than you or better than you or like they just figured something out. Like it was their blessing. They might have had someone who showed them the way, someone who hooked them up. You know, maybe they've been working. And here's the thing too: like sometimes we don't see the work other people put in. So sometimes we just think things just happen. Oh, had that person lucking. Like, no, they've been putting in work to get to that. They might have been trying to find a passive income stream for 20 years and finally found it. To us, we only know they've been working on it for 5 months. We don't know about the other 19 years and 7 months or whatever. No, 9 months. How long is a year? Anyway, Check my math, check my work, um, Common Core it, show the work. But yeah, it's just like that's a great goal. I'm not mad at anybody who's like, I don't want to like work all the time. I want to set up some passive income streams so I don't have to work as much. Cool. Figure it out. Let's go. What up, Praveen? Good to see you. Doopy, hello. F Doctor, I haven't been up to much, you know me, the usual. Yesterday I took kind of a really lazy day. I took a long nap yesterday. I don't even think I left the house. Did I? Oh yeah, I walked down to Walmart. Came back, ate lunch, took a long nap, woke up, talked on the phone to a friend of mine for about 2 hours, and then went back to sleep. Yeah, I was lazy yesterday. Yes, Savon, like yeah. Social media can be like it can definitely be positive, but I think a lot of it has to do with what we consume on social media. It's just like music. It's just like television. Before social media, all the stuff we say about social media, well, not all of it, but a lot of the stuff we say about social media, we said about TV, we said about the music, we said about movies. There's always something that's the big thing that the kids are watching and we're spending all our time doing that's bad for us. They said it about video games, and all of it's true. But in all of those cases, we just have to be smarter than the video game, smarter than the TV, smarter than social media. Like you said, if you're spending too much time on social media, cut back. Delete the apps off your phone or stop looking at the negative stuff. You know, everything we look at influences us. Here's the thing I was thinking about too. Y'all know me, I'm a big believer that our subconscious mind takes in and stores everything we've ever seen, heard, tasted, smelled, touched, right? It's got volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes of information. You'd need 1 trillion gigabytes probably to contain all the information our subconscious mind has. The more that information it takes in is in line with what we're trying to do, the easier it will be for us to do what we're trying to do. It comes down to figuring out what we're trying to do in life and then coming up with the solutions as to how to do it. Our conscious mind, like us, we have to figure out what we're trying to do. And then we send the orders back to the subconscious to figure out how to do it. If all we're taking in and giving our subconscious is like crap, you know what I mean? If we're not giving it anything to work with, how is it going to come up with the solutions we need? It can only come up with solutions based on what you've taken in. That's what we like. The conscious mind decides what it consumes and decides what it wants to do. The subconscious mind figures out a way to do it. But if all we're consuming is just like surface level crap, how do you expect the subconscious mind to like figure out in any decent amount of time what you're trying to do? It's like all you're feeding me is just like reality TV and other people, like, and nothing's wrong with that type stuff. But like, if there's nothing real there, if you're not, if you ask somebody to cook you an amazing meal, I don't care how good a chef they are. If you buy them crappy ingredients, they can't cook it. If you want a steak and you get the world's best chef, but you just give her potato chips and, you know what I mean? Like, if you say, hey, I need you to cook me a steak, but you got to buy all the amazing steak dinner, but you got to buy all the ingredients at the Dollar Tree. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get an amazing steak dinner. It's the same. Like, if we want an amazing steak life, right? But all we do is consume garbage, your subconscious is going to be like, I can't work with, like, you got to give me something real. I think a lot of times we want or we dream about awesome, amazing, high level lives. And we have our subconscious mind is the greatest chef there is, right? It can help us do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're tapped into divine power between God, the universe, and our subconscious mind. Like, we got this. But like, we have to do our part. And if all we're doing is feeding our subconscious mind with just surface level crap, like it can't do it. It can't do it. At least some of the time we got to actually tighten up, to consume some stuff that means something. Consume something positive, something, that gets the juices flowing, you know. Feel like I went off on a tangent there. Oh, what up, Joy? Glad you made another 365 around the sun. Thanks, Kevin. I'll take that. Thank you. Up T flat, what up? Praveen, you took them shoes back? Oh boy, what happened? Oh, it was an impulse buy, so you took them back? Love you too, Kevin. It all starts in the brain, and it all, I guess it doesn't end in the brain because it ends in our reality. But like, yeah, man, like it's all here. It's all here. Hotel Honda, how you doing? Bones, yeah, being stuck, like when you want your life to change but don't know how to do it. Um, a go-to I do is I just kind of start consuming content of people doing it. I think it's like, okay, I want my life to change, and then we have to figure out how do I want it to change. Like there is some work involved in figuring out direction. Okay, you can be like, oh, I want my life sucks, I want it to change, but you gotta have some type of direction. Do you want a better job? Do you want to find a mate? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want a better relationship with the divine? Like what are we trying to do? And then like once you figure that out, we live in a day and age where like you can literally just Google how to get financially free. You know what I mean? And just start consuming. But too, like once again, consciously, a lot of times we have no clue what to do, but subconsciously, we have an idea. So I think a lot of it is just deciding this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then slowly steps will appear as the forces that are helping us start to help. But like when we don't have any type of direction, it's impossible for anybody to help us. Like if you're lost, think about this. If you're lost, right? You're lost in downtown Denver. And somebody walks up and you say, hey, can you help me a bit? I'm lost. And they're like, yeah, I've lived here 20 years. What do you need to know? Where are you trying to go? And you're like, well, I don't know where I'm trying to go. They can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you find someone who's lived somewhere for 20, 30 years, they know every street, side street, alley, bus stop, everything. You got to tell them where you're trying to go. You can't just be like, hey, I'm lost. Help me. Then where are you trying to go? Oh, I don't know. To save true at life, like we got to kind of figure out where we're trying to go. And even sometimes when we think we don't know, I think we know or have places we would like to go, but we just think we can't go there. A lot of if you ask the average person, it's funny. If you say, hey, if you won the lottery, what would you do with the money? Everybody has an answer, right? If you hit 100 million tomorrow, what would you do? Everybody has an answer. But those same people will turn around, and if you say, hey, what do you want to do with your life? They have no answer. It's like, well, when you had a ton of money, you knew all types of things you wanted to do. But when I ask you what you want to do with your life, you don't know. But obviously, you still want to do those other things you would have done if you hit the lottery. It's just that you don't think you can achieve them at the money level you're at now, so you don't go after them. But I think it comes down to like, what do you want to do in life? You can dream as big as you want. You can say whatever you want. The universe doesn't care. It just wants to help you. Your subconscious mind doesn't care. It just wants to help you. If we can start to believe that like we were not put here to suffer and it just be pain. Like we're put here to like accomplish what we want to accomplish. Why else put us here? Why else put us here? Give us free will. Give us this amazing planet with all this amazing stuff to do. If whatever put us here or led to us being here didn't want us to do it. If life was all about pain and suffering, this planet could be a lot worse. This burning hell so many people fear. If that's really was what the point was, why not just put us in a burning hell from the beginning? So it's like the fact that we have the opportunity and the ability to do all this stuff, the fact that we spend all this time looking at other people doing it shows that like it's possible. So if other people can do it, if it's a possibility on this planet for humans, why can't I do it? Or in the least, why can't I just say I want to do it? What do you want to do? I want to retire to a tropical island and, you know, never have to worry about money again. I don't, you mean like that's, you can say that. Why not? Why not? A lot of people are kind of living the life they want. Maybe we got money worries. You can say, hey, I want to continue living this life I'm living. I just don't want to have to worry about money. Your subconscious mind goes to work. The universe goes to work. Oh, okay. So you don't want to, boom, okay. You know, like it's why would that be outside the realm of possibility? Getting to a place where you don't have to worry about money constantly. And then you can enjoy time with your family, your spouse, your kids, you know. You don't have to worry about money so much. Maybe you can find another job. You know what I mean? Like I just think we all have things we would like to happen. We just don't think we can do them. But like, it's starts with just saying it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say it, see what happens. I'm just gonna keep saying it. Every time I get stressed out about money, I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be stressed out about money the rest of my life. I'm figuring this out. And that's when like the wheels will start turning in the areas we have no control over. But I think also, once again, it helps if you're like, hey, I'm not trying to worry about money. It helps to start learning about money. Weird thing about money is most people just chase it, they never learn about it. You know, any skilled hunter learns about its prey. You know, if I'm trying to catch deer, I don't know. If I'm a hunter and I'm trying to catch deer, I learn about deer. I don't just go out in the woods with a gun, but all right, where them deer's at? Like if you're trying to catch something, learn about it. It's funny, people spend all their life chasing money, don't ever learn about it. I don't know. Okay, I feel like I've been going off on tangents. You know. What up, Mitchell? Tracy Trott, how you doing? Robert for drinking that green tea. Hey, what up, Craig? Yeah, you see the gratitude gorilla, you see it. And of course, got him on deck right here, you know. Facts, lady. You never know what people going through. You know, we over here thinking people had it easy and they put in the work. Are you gonna get a remote control glider, Robert, when you get your tax money? Okay. Must be nice to get tax money. Ward University gear? I don't know, Craig. I don't know. I've kind of got away from doing any merch. I don't like selling nothing. You know, there has to be a bigger reason behind it than me just making money. What up, Shayla? Happy Sunday. Sharon, how you doing? Probably 13. We here. Hey, sorry about that, Optic Gamer. Hope you find a job soon. Hang in there. You're going to find a job soon. Not even say hope. You're going to find a job soon. I'm way behind these comments. Would I ever do music souls? I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm a musician, so I don't know. Robert about to start looking for that job with dental and medical. Let's go. Amazing state life, right? Facts. Facts. Yeah, Savant, 2025 is going to be good. I've been talking to a lot of people, and they've been saying the same thing. They got a good vibe about 2025. What up, Jerry? Facts, Jerry Bear. If you're going to be in the driver's seat, at least know where you're going. You know what I mean? Even if you know how to get there, you got to, like, know where you're trying to go. Free like summer. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Said an odd one. Do you feel like time runs faster? No. I mean, time isn't real. So I feel like, they say time flies, you're having fun. I feel like, yeah, the days when I'm really locked in, zoned in, doing what I love with people I love, you know, it seems like time goes by faster. But I know for me personally, my life alternates between lots of days where it's just me by myself sitting in an Airbnb or a hotel. Um, sometimes those days go by a lot slower. And then I have like days where I'm like traveling on the road, doing stuff. Those days fly by. So for me, it's kind of a balance, depending on what I'm doing. Because I'll admit, yeah, some days seem pretty slow, which isn't a bad thing. I like the slow days. Hey, Jose says, mark my words, Tim. Today I realized something. I'm done doubting myself. I'm the best version of myself, and I'm socially confident. Let's go. It's early, but I'm already having a great year. Yes, yes. Hey, Jose, you're on the path. Jose, you are on the path. Keep going, my brother. Keep going. You got this. I'm excited to see how your 2025 turns out. Graham Cracker J, hey y'all. Preaching at the podium. Thank you. I'm trying to. I'm trying to like. I don't know. Like this is the year of abundance, and I've been reading more. Trying to get back in meditation. I slept on that last week. I got to get back at it. But I'm like, if I just put out positivity and double down and I just want to see where we're at 2026, excuse me. If I focus all year on just like really going in and just we talking and positivity and abundance all year long. Every now and then we may have to throw in some negative titles to bring other people in. The negativity brings them in. But once we got them here, then we hit them with the abundance. It's the old bait and switch. But if we just focus on this all year, I'm curious to see what the end of this year looks like. So that's what we do. We preaching. Robert says, small rustic cabin on land right outside the city and a pretty little introverted girl that's faithful. Let's go. Hey, that's you. Do it. We're here to succeed, not suffer. I agree. What if there's no point and nobody put us here? If that's the way you choose to look at it, like my question would be, why would I look at it that way? Like I firmly believe someone or something did, like we're here. So I feel like there's a reason. I feel like there's a reason why we're here. What we do with being here, I think, is up to us. So like, yeah, if we walk around saying life is pointless and it's suffering, I think it will be. But if you're like, hey, I was put here, I don't know if I have like a set purpose, but there's things I enjoy doing and that seems fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, as long as there's things I love to do and I enjoy doing in this life, it can't be pointless to me. Because like, I like to travel, so I've got a point. Travel more. I like hanging out with my friends, so I got a point. Hang out with your friends more. I like, eating good food. Eat good food. I like watching women's sports. Watch more women's sports. Like, I don't overthink it. I think a lot of times we overthink it. We want to get like very deep into it. I don't get that deep no more. I'm here. I have the free will and the opportunity to do things I want to do. I'm gonna do them. That's what my life is gonna be about. Enjoying this place. But if there is no point, well, I'm having a lot of fun in this pointless endeavor. That's the way I look at it. Like I don't even, that's just how how I look at it. Sitting courtside at the Knicks game. Let's go, Bald Eagle. Do it. Do it. You might spend $140 on a trip. Hey, do it, Praveen. Yeah, take them shoes back. Spend that money somewhere else. RMJ trying to buy your first house later this year? Go for it. Go for it. Do it. Do it. Jose, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. So Tim, my year's off to a great start. Blessings. Yes. Blessings, you too. Glad to hear that, Jose. You on the path, man. Did I know Maya Rudolph is from Gainesville? I don't think I knew that now. Oh, yeah, John, you can. Yeah, I didn't. Yesterday, the last time I streamed, I hadn't heard anything about the LA fire. So obviously prayers to everybody going through that. Like that's heartbreaking. That's devastating. You know, being up here in Colorado, we get wildfires too. So having been close to, I never had any hit where I was at, but having been close to several of them over the years and seeing kind of the devastation afterwards, not near as bad as anything like it was in LA. Yeah, I get it. Like it's scary. So yeah, definitely shout out to the people in LA. Prayers to them. Um, yeah, man, that's yeah. Prayers to everybody in LA. Praveen, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Said going to eat dinner soon, but want to super chat at least once to support you in your channel. Thank you, Praveen. Love your videos and streams. Thank you. You are welcome, and thank you, Praveen, for being a wonderful part of the community and always sharing your stories with us and always showing love. Thank you. Thank you. Flaming Turtles, checking in from Tennessee. Been watching for a couple years. Love the content. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Tennessee in the building. Lady said, Tim, there's a school of thought out there that single people who live alone are more creative because they don't have others' energy surrounding them constantly. I could see that being true. My only thing is this. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, this group is more creative. I just be creative. Like I don't think it has to be a creative competition. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm always hesitant. People are like, you think you're more creative? You're an introvert. I'm like, I don't know. Like, you could argue that people with family members are more creative because they have a reason to be creative, or they have a muse, or they have, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I do think it's interesting that we like have like this creativity competition. If there's one area where I think it doesn't matter, it's creativity. Like just create. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Celine's accepting the love, sending it back to you. Thank you. Relentless said the purpose of life is to enjoy it. I agree. I think we overthink it. If all of life was fun, would anything be fun? I think we definitely wouldn't appreciate the fun as much, you know. Dario, Happy New Year. Juno Sneakerhead said, do seasonal jobs have shuttle buses from the airport bus station, or do I have to figure out my own? It depends on the job. Most of them will have some type of way for you to get to the job. Even if they don't supply it, they'll usually, because that's the number one question they get every season is, how do I get there? So most of them will tell you in the paperwork, sometimes even right on the listing wherever you find the job, it'll say, we work with this shuttle service, we provide a shuttle. I don't think I've ever seen a seasonal job that didn't tell me how, because they have to, or either you won't get there. So some of them do provide their own, but others will say, yeah, take this shuttle, take this bus. If you get here, we'll pick you up. Quite a few will get you from the airport. But yeah, all of them, have some type of way of doing it. Even if you have to pay for it, they'll usually be like, hey, this is how you can get here. Because it's, like I said, it's the number one question. Dorothea, I blessed you first and foremost. Do I think it's a good idea to leave a place if the people around you are toxic, not trying to be equally yoked? You know in your heart there's something greater. Yes, I think it's a great idea. If you know in your heart there's something greater, go for it. What would keep you from going after that? Like, what would outweigh that? If the place you're at, it ain't working, people ain't trying to be equally yoked, they toxic, and you know there's something better, why would you stay? Now, if in your heart you know there's something better, but the place you're at is cool, I can see you be like, well, this is cool. Like, I kind of like it here, but I think there's something greater. But if this place is toxic and you know there's something better, oh, that's a no-brainer. Go for it. Go for it. Azracoon, how you doing? Sarasota in the building. Goddess, hello. AZ, I agree. You know, we all go through pain and suffering. It's a part of life, but like a lot of times that turns out to be a blessing or the blessings on the back end. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we're going like there's life is made up of like hard times and good times. You know what I mean? It's made up of burdens and blessings. So it's like if I'm going through the burdens now, oh, I know my blessings is coming. If I as soon as I get through this, I know them blessings are coming. Not to mention this might turn into a blessing. You hear people all the time. Best thing that ever happened to me was that divorce. Even though at the time it floored them. You know, best thing ever happened to me was when they fired me from that job. I was struggling for 3 months, but on that fourth month, blah 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 blah, so and so, put me on the path where I need to go. And that's the thing too. When we don't have a clear direction in life, when we don't have clear goals, all the things we go through that we don't enjoy seem horrible, right? When we have a direction in life, when we have goals, when we have a belief that we're heading towards something or achieving something, then the suffering and the pain just becomes part of the process, right? It's just, oh, this is just a test. They're like, oh, this is just this is just that. It becomes part of it. When we don't have anything greater than like what we're going through, that becomes everything. That's why you'll see two people go through the same thing, and one person, because they've got something greater than that, realizes this is just a part of it. This might be the catalyst that really gets me there. It sucks. It's painful. I don't like it. I'm crying. I'm hurting, but this is part of it. You know, this is just an obstacle. This is just a detour. I might even learn something from it. But like when we got nothing else going on, that bad situation we're currently in is everything. That's why we get so down because there's nothing else. Like you got to have something else. You got to have something greater, something bigger. That's why, you know, all the wise women and men in history are like dream big. Go big. Dream with the lid off. Go for it. Because that's just more for you to look forward to. You know what I mean? That's just more for you to hold on to. When the tough times come, but if we ain't got nothing, you know what I mean? If there's nothing else, then yeah, when you suffer, it's gonna be horrible. Like you know, once again, it's a journey. This is just a detour. You know, if you're trying to get down to grandma's and you hit a rainstorm, you got to pull over on the side of the road. You're just like, hey, we had to pull over, let this rainstorm pass. As soon as it passes, we're back on the road. It might take us a little longer to get to grandma's, but when we get to grandma's, we have a great time. Ain't seen her in 5 years. You're excited. You're excited. But if you're just driving around aimlessly and you get stuck in a rainstorm, it sucks. Like you aggravated, you mad because there's nothing. Even when the rainstorm goes away and you get back on the road, you still ain't going nowhere. It's like, what's the point? Like you gotta have something you're doing. Let's go. What up, Nomadic? Is there really such thing as a dream job? I think there's such thing as a dream job if you have a dream job. If not, then no. You know, I don't think it is. The term dream job is weird anyway. Like if you say dream career or dream, you know, like if there's something you've always wanted to do, like if you've always wanted to be a doctor because you always want to help people, you've always wanted to be an athlete because you love basketball, you know, people rarely refer to those as like jobs. You know what I mean? Um, so I think like there can be vocations, you know, or things you do that you've always dreamt of doing just because you like that. And I even think there could be jobs that like you don't mind doing. But like I don't think you need a dream job. I just think you need to, if you gotta work, like most of us do, then find something you enjoy or find something you like or find something you can deal with that's not toxic, that's not, you know, making you sick, that's not hurting you physically. But I don't know if we have to find a dream job. Like if you haven't to this point come up with a dream job, I don't think that needs to be your goals. Like I need to find a dream job. But just be like, I need to find a job I enjoy, something I can do. I think it's more important to not be at a toxic job than it is to have to find the dream job. Because you might not dream of work. You know what I mean? It's unnatural to work the way we work. So it's natural that we don't have dream jobs. What up, Joseph? Yeah, Joseph. AJ, there's always something better. And AJ, I'm mindset, man. Mindset. Like if you want to look at everything negative and you have a negative response to everything, then things will be negative. If you choose to look at things negatively, because here's the thing, I know for me, I don't look at the world and see what's going on and then determine how my life is going to be. I determine how my life is going to be, and then I go out into the world and like it make it happen. So like I'm never going to say there's no better jobs. If I'm going to find a better job, I'm going to find a better job. Worst case scenario, I make a better job. There's no concept of if I want a better job, there isn't one, because I'm gonna make there be one. That's the difference between someone who like it feels is a victim of circumstance and someone who like makes things happen. If you look at all the women and men throughout history who are doing what they want to do and like made things happen, they made things happen. They didn't sit back and be like, well, all there are crappy jobs, so I'm gonna work a crappy job. No, they was like, I'm gonna find a good job. Or they took it even further, I'm gonna find a way to support me. You ask yourself, what do you need the job for? I need the job to support me and my family. Okay, I'm gonna find a way to support me and my family that I enjoy. And they went out and did it. Even if they had to start their own business, whatever. Like you can create a position at your job. You can look at your job and say, hey, I kind of like working for this company. You know what I would love to do here is so and so, so and so. They're like, well, we ain't got no so and so, so and so. Okay, well, who do I talk to about creating that position? And then you sit down and you figure out what that position entails, how much they need to pay you for that position, and you shop it around to people. You talk about it. Only way I'm gonna stay at this company is if they let me be the supervisor of so and so, the vice president of so and so. What is that? Glad you asked, Charles. I wrote up, a treatise. Not a treatise. I wrote up a thing about it. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. This is the difference between someone who just sits back and gives up and says, I can't do it. It can't be done. No rush of doing it. And someone who's just like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm smart. I'm a hard worker. Why couldn't I find a better job or create a better job? Like, like, and it takes time and it takes work. Sometimes, though, it doesn't take as much as we think. But then when it happens, it's actually quite amazing because you're like, oh, snap, I did that. What else can I do? But like, if we never take that first step to do one of those things, you can spend your whole life, yeah, negative and which is if like, once again, I like positivity. I like abundance, so I talk about it. I try to turn other people onto it. People who already turned onto it, I try to provide motivation so we can keep turned onto it, turned into it. But like, if you want to go through life negative, that's fine. Like, I don't, Patria, you now see the meaning of frugality. No stuff, no excess stuff. Matt, I had some wings early and they were disappointing. So I got some Hawaiian barbecue in there. Oh, Productions, welcome. What what did I lose? You said really I see somebody lose it and regain more than they have lost. I don't know if I lost anything though. I gave stuff away. I downsized, but I didn't really lose anything though. Hey, thanks, Savant. Like we try to keep it positive here, man. Choose your rate, choose your fate. Let's go. Telling you. Electronics said, I've been self-employed all my life, and 90% of the work I've done has been things I love: throwing raves, restoring classic cars, restoring vintage stereo gear, etc. Nice, nice. Hey, David, glad to hear you survived. Sorry to hear you went through that, but like, glad to hear you survived. You know, survive with brain and body intact. Lost 100 pounds. Your heart is good. Let's go. And yeah, I think that's a good example. Of like, I'm sure that sucked. I'm sure that was horrible. But on the back end of it, you're like, hey, I had to go through that. It was good. I'm glad you're still here with us. Oh, I love this. Healing said, I definitely got my job to pay me 20K more per year by advocating. Took me a year, but I did it. We don't even ask for raises. People be out here like, well, the job only pays this much. Have you asked for more? No, because the job only pays this much. Well, here's the thing. Go in there and ask for more. The worst they can do is say, no, the job only pays this much. But don't say it for them. You know, you don't have to go in there being an a-hole, but you can just be like, hey, and once again, outline it, give reasons. You can't just go in there and be like, I think I deserve $5 more an hour. But if you go in there and outline for them, hey, this is why I think I in this position deserve $5 more an hour. And you break it down for them. Here's the thing. They might give you 2. Hey, right now we can't do 5, but like we've noticed, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times I've found that like companies, people like bosses, managers, whatever, like they're busy, they be doing stuff. So like if you don't tell them, they don't know. So like, yeah, like if you find working for X amount and the 20-cent raise every year and you come into work reasonably happy, they think you happy. I've been bad about this. I suffer being bad on communication. I'm working on communication. I can communicate over the internet, but in my personal relationships and work things like that, I don't communicate well. So I'm learning to because I've had jobs that I got in a huff and I quit, and they was like, "Bro, you didn't tell us. You're a great worker. If you'd come in and said you wanted a raise, we'd have given you a raise." But I never said anything. So it's like, yeah, a lot of times people just busy. They got their own problems. If you go in there and say, hey, I really think I deserve $2 raise, or like I may have to look for another job, they might be like, okay, here's your $2. Go. Like, you know what I mean? We don't even be asking. Hey, Jimmy, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to hear you loving life. I need to get a crock pot. It's hard to travel with a crock pot, lady. Once I get a home base, I don't know. Maybe we'll look in a crock pot and air fryer and all that. But it's hard to travel with a crock pot. They don't like you. I seen a dude trying to take a crock pot on the plane. It was a problem. Now, to be honest, to be fair, the reason it was a problem was because he had a bunch of stuff like inside the crock pot, like electronics and stuff, and then he'd put the lid on the crock pot and he put it in the crock pot box and had it all wrapped up. That's not going to fly through TSA. They tore that all apart. Nope. They took the ball. They was like, next time, just have the crock pot. He's like, don't put all this stuff in it and like wrap it up all secret. They're like, bro, just have the crock pot. But he had it all. I mean, it made sense because he's trying to save space, put stuff in the pot. Then you want to wrap it up so it doesn't break. I get it. But like, you got to look at it from TSA standpoint. We don't know what is going on here. You got electronics and cookeries all wrapped up and selling. Now we're not doing this. Anyway, maybe when I get a home base, yeah. My favorite place at all the places I've been, Goddess, I don't really do favorites. There's places I've appreciated more, but like I can't pick one place and be like, this is my favorite place. It's like I would probably if I ever did that, I would probably be living there. So Denver's cool, Bozeman's cool, Portland's cool, Estes Park is cool. Like a lot of places cool. I couldn't pick. Yeah, if I had a favorite, I would be living there probably. I mean, AJ, yeah, I don't. That's a hard one. Like if you're not interested in any type of job, but don't have any type of business you want to start, I think you just might have to do something you're not interested in until a light bulb goes off, like, you know, like, I mean, like, you got to pay the bills. So, like, if there's nothing, you're like, oh, I want to do that. You may just have to keep doing what you're doing until something comes along, you know? Diamante, I didn't sell my apartment. I just subleased it. So I was renting an apartment. So I just subleased it. Um, yeah. So I think my lease was from like April 2014 to April 2015, and I just went up there to the property management place and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be gone in January." So they just had somebody move in January 1st. So I stayed there till like December 31st. Actually, it was probably January 15th. The guy had to get in there and clean and stuff. But yeah, I just told him I was gonna be out. I think I had to pay a little fee or something. It wasn't that hard a process. Because it helped the apartments I were in were kind of in demand. They were in a good area and they were decently priced. So they got somebody really quick. And yeah, I think I had to pay like a fee to like leave early, but then yeah, I just left. Baby Vanna, you asked for a raise and then dipped. Hey, if you got to get up out of there, get up out of there. Praveen, you gonna start traveling in February? Do it, do it. D-Rail's thinking about doing van life. Oh, nice, nice. Go for it. Go for it. Best place to get around in the U.S. Without a car is also safe. Um, there's this thing called like the walkability score that I Google. Um, I mean, and you can Google cities with best trans. Like I would do like a series of searches. Cities with the best public transportation, cities with the highest walkability score, safest cities in America, and then you can kind of go through the list and find the ones that rank highest out of all of them. I honestly gotta say Denver's a really good one. One of the reasons I spent a lot of time in Denver, excellent public transportation. It's got the bus, it's got the light rail, it's got the train. Um, Uber is, depending on where you're going, it's competitive. You going to the airport, they're gonna get you. But you can get around fairly easy with Uber for cheap. And for the Denver's pretty safe. Yeah, Denver's pretty safe. So Denver ranks pretty high up there. Um, for me, as far as like I can get pretty much anywhere I need to go, and 90% of the time on public transportation, I feel very safe. 10% of the time, there'll be somebody crazy on there or somebody going through something on there. Um, but yeah, they do a good job of keeping Denver pretty safe, I'd say. Yeah. If I had to pick one. Lord, you're absolutely right. Like you're right. It is weird. We're not designed. It's not supposed to be this way. It's like I got to get up and go to work, even though I'm not excited about any of it. But in order to like survive, I got to do that. But I'm not excited about survival because in order to survive, I got to work. Like it's not meant to be this way. That's why we all feel this way. That's why I think just setting that intention of like I'm not going to do this the rest of my life. If you're 20, great. At 20 years old, set the intention of like I'm going to figure out something else to do. I may not know right now, but I am not going to do this the rest of my life. I got about another year of this. I got about another year or two of this. I got to figure something out. And then if from this moment, that is one of your life goals is like, I want to figure out a way that will allow me to survive, but that like is enjoyable to me. I don't want to just feel like I'm working to survive and surviving just to work. You know what I mean? I want to live. And I'm going to figure out how to do that. Even if you don't know what that's going to look like, setting the intention, setting the goal. Every time you find yourself like, man, this sucks, but like, yeah, but this isn't forever. This is temporary. Till I figure out what I'm gonna do. You can tell people. I'm a firm believer in like telling people. Like people say, don't tell people your dream. I say tell them. Because then what happens, it's motivating. If I don't tell nobody, when it does happen, I'm the only one who knows, and that's cool. But I like to tell people, oh, this is what I'm doing. A, it keeps me on track. And B, when it happens, they like, wait a second. Tim said he was going to do that and he did it. You know what I mean? Then there's motivation. People might think it might work for them. But yeah, I would just, hey, set that intention. Like, I'm not trying to just be living to pay bill, like work, buy, repeat, die. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to be in the same position 5 years from now. And never waver from that. Like, just never waver from that. No matter what life throws at you, never waver. Like, our lives do not have to be dictated by what happens to us. We can make things happen. We're not taught that. They don't want us to know that. If you realize, like, if we all realize the actual amount of power we have to influence our lives, all this stuff that like we currently put up with would be gone tomorrow. Oh, 6 months. Because people would just, none of us would, people were like, bro, like, I don't have to take this. But like, when we don't see the answer, when we don't see the solution, it's easy to think we have to take it. But we don't have to take it forever. Like, you're like, hey, I may be taking this now, but I don't have to take this. This is not going to be my existence forever. I don't care what happens. This ain't it. And that's why you'll see people take risk. People will take risk, do things that made it on paper seem like the wise move, because they're not going to, even if I take this risk and it doesn't work out, is better than me just settling. And when you get to that point, yeah, you get a little braver, you start taking more risks because you're like, I don't care. The alternative is not happening. Me continuing to feel like I'm just here to work, pay bills, and die for another 40, 50 years, I'm not doing it. So even if I take a risk, when I get an ideal of something that maybe I can do to change my situation, even if I take that risk and it fails, well, okay, I'll learn from it. The goal is always the same. But, if you give in and just like, well, this is all there is, well, you look up 50 years later, you're in the same situation. We're in Texas to say, David, I haven't spent much time in Texas, so I found Austin to be very safe too. Yeah. What up, Kaya? Kaya, I don't feel qualified to give any advice on that because I haven't really been in that situation. Sorry to hear about that. Um, I know that has to be hard, but like I try not to give advice on things I haven't been through. Um, sorry. Dave said happy is far more important than wealthy. Hey. Sunshine, I do think my time in Denver is coming to a close. I've been here like 2 months, so you know me. If I haven't found a place to like a home base, yeah, I mean that's long for me in general. So yeah, we get a little antsy, so we probably gonna be up out of here soon. I definitely don't think we'll be here through February. Yeah, electronic. You see the look on people's faces when you make your dream. I'm telling you, it's motivating. People be like, "How did you do that?" I just did it, bro. Hey, Dondrell, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Said I'm listening. Hey. Appreciate that, Dondrell. Thank you. Listen up. We talking. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the abundance. Yeah, Matt K. It is crazy that like, and I do think we're living in a time period where more and more people are seeing how messed up the system is. But once again, I think if you believe that the system is more powerful than you just get more and more depressed. I just refuse to believe that like I don't have power. I just refuse to believe I'm powerless. The system can do what it wants. Like it has nothing to do. All that does is just decide what hurdles and obstacles are in my way. And guess what? No matter what time period I lived in, there was going to be hurdles and obstacles in my way because, like, it's the way life is set up. So, I'm tapped into the system just to see the best way to, like, overcome some of these hurdles and obstacles. But beyond that, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't play that much part in my life. You know, I play the leading role in my life. In the movie of my life, I play the leading role, not forces outside of me. And I think the average person doesn't see it that way because we're not taught to see it that way. So, as the world gets crazier and, people just get more and more depressed. But that's why I think now is the best time ever to be, talking abundance, talking positivity, talking personal power. Like, if not now, when? Like, you know what I mean? Like, people need it. We all need it. We all need this. I need this. Part of the reason you know what I mean? Like, this keeps me on track. Having these discussions, hearing y'all stories, interacting with y'all, keeps me on track. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. We got this. We're not alone. We're powerful. And that's the thing too. It's individual power, but then as more of us awaken and start like using our personal power and join together, then like I feel like our power is like multiplied. And then it just gets more and more people start to see. And like I think eventually the day could come when the system goes bye-bye because too many people see through it. But it starts with us letting people know now. Hey Eric, you're welcome. Glad you liked that video. So what is the most important video you ever made? Eric, I couldn't answer that. I like to think that other people who consume the content could say that for themselves. Just like there's content creators I really appreciate and their content speaks to me, I would imagine they wouldn't have them. Like, there's no way you can say which video is the most powerful or the most important because you don't know how it impacts people. So there are some videos like that one that it means a lot to me that I was able to get it out and say what I wanted to say, and that some people have like got something from it. But there's other videos that I may not think are important at all. For example, I have a video about interviewing as a housekeeper, interviewing as a hotel housekeeper. I just made that video because it's something I know about. A couple people will watch it. It almost was like I needed a video. This is something I know about. Let's make it. That video is one of my top viewed videos, and I get so many comments. And it's been like 4 or 5 years, 3-4 years. I get so many comments from people saying, "Thank you so much for this video." You know what I mean? So like, you never know. And that's the people who comment. A lot of people don't comment, So I rarely comment on other people's videos. If I do, it's always positive. But I'm just not a big commenter. So like, some videos might really touch people, and no one said anything. You know what I mean? So it's like I would never say what's my most important video because the importance comes from people who watch it and get something out of it. So, what up, Angela? Hey, yeah, Music Bluff. I like that. Grow where you plant it. You know what I mean? Like, it starts today. Like, the path to where you're going starts right now. Like, or it started years ago. As long as there's forward motion, you're on the right path. Eric, thank you. Super Chat Squad coming through with the euros. Said go get a coffee. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And then we got Clint Perry coming right behind. Super Chat Train. Thank you, Clint. Super Chat Train. That is love. Said enjoy every moment. Facts. Or as many as you can. Every now and then we get some moments. It's tough, but like, when the goal is to enjoy every moment, even if there are a couple that you can't, you'll get right back to the enjoyment soon. TJ, what up? Hey, Clint coming through again. Thank you, Clint. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Said pay it forward is the right thing to do. I do agree. Thank you. And I appreciate being the recipient of so much of your paying forward. But you know what I mean? I try to do a lot of paying forward myself too. So Thank you, Midlife. John the Wolf. Super Chat Squad, Super Chat Train. Thank you, thank you. So thanks, Tim, for the live. We love you, brother. Hey, love you too, John. I mean that. Thank you. Your love means a lot to me, seriously. I've said many times, I think that the reason I'm able to live the life I live and like have the joy and happiness and abundance in it is in the good karma is y'all. You know what I mean? I get a lot of blessings and good energy from y'all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Savon said about to lock in starting today on what I want to accomplish, and then once I get on the other side, it's going to be exciting. You know what's crazy? The journey to it is exciting too. That's another thing. Like when we have goals, when we have things we're working towards, like every day you wake up is an opportunity to go for it. So that's exciting. You know, Gary V has Gary Vaynerchuk. Famously, he said he wants to buy the New York Knicks, the New York Jets, excuse me, New York Jets. He's been saying that for years. But here recently, he was like, you know what? Like here recently, he's kind of dialed it back, and people still ask him, like in podcasts and stuff, they'll be like, so what do you plan to do with the Jets? And he's like, and you can tell as he ages, you know? And he was like, I realized recently that if I am able to achieve that goal and buy the Jets, he's like, it won't be near as exciting as like the journey to buying it. He's like, I realize honestly, I'm enjoying the journey in the chase to buying the Jets. He's like, I probably won't even enjoy owning the Jets near as much. And like, I think that is a lot in life. Like, the journey becomes so exciting. And as you just see different steps happening and different doors opening and different opportunities presenting themselves, the whole journey is exciting. So by the time you actually get where you're going, it's cool. It's amazing. You did it, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, okay, it's another step. It's like, oh yeah, you know, you have that initial yes, and then it's kind of like, all right, we did this. What next? And not, I don't say that negatively. Like I said, it's amazing, but it's just like the journey is it, you know, like the whole process is amazing. Like from day one to day 373 when you accomplish it or whatever. So yeah, you lock in, say this is what I'm trying to do. If you stick with that, like the whole process is fun. That's why you see people like joyful and excited. You're like, what you got going on? Nothing really they can tell you. They're just in the process of getting where they're going. They can see it. They got a goal. It's exciting. You know, it's exciting to live a life. Like I was walking downtown earlier, and I'll tell you, since the beginning of this year, I've been trying to listen to, you know, upbeat, positive, motivational stuff pretty much every day, usually in the morning. And it's already, what is it? It's the 12th. It's already affecting me. And like there is a different feeling when you walk around. Like I was walking downtown earlier. There's a different feeling when you know you have control over your life. When you know that like you just don't have to settle for whatever's happening. When you know you're working towards something. You walk around a little taller, shoulders back, swag heavy. You know what I mean? Like it's and not even like a cocky thing, but it's just like it's almost like a free, just kind of like, bro, like, you know, 6 months ago I was down because I thought, you know, there was no hope and blah blah blah. It's like now I know I'm in control. I'm influencing this. And the more you see the benefits, like the more you see things that you said you were going to do start happening, or you see yourself growing, or you see you continuing up the path, like the better it feels. It's different. It's different. And you'll find yourself when you slip up and you'll hear about something that happened or something somebody did, and you slip back into the old, like, oh man, what about, you know, oh, wait a second, that don't, the average person might suddenly be devastated by that news. That's just a hurdle, bro. That's just an obstacle. It's different. It's a different way of living, and it's easy to slip out of that because all the programming we get daily tells us otherwise. But if we can stay in that zone and just go through life like, no, I'm in control. The only reason I need to know about this other stuff is to know how to navigate it. That doesn't have to be my reality. That doesn't have to be my existence. That doesn't have to be the moment I'm living in. That's just some stuff that's happening in the same moment, but it's not the moment I'm living in. Because I'm creating my own moment over here. Clint, Clint Perry coming through again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Clint Perry said, one more time. Hey, I appreciate the love. Thank you. Super Chat Trade. I appreciate that, Clint, so much. Thank you. Thank you. Ted, I've been reading some old books. Watch this. Right on cue. Bam. How to Promote Yourself, Making the Men Who Can by Wallace D. Wattles. Boom. May 5th, 1914. May 5th, 1914 was originally published. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get into this book. We're going to get into this. This book is over 100 years old. It's only about 100 pages. This is that truth. We're going to get into that. Maybe not today. We're going to get into that. Oh, I've been reading the old books. That old, but it's funny that all throughout history, the wise women and men have said the same thing. That's what's crazy. What up, Michael? David E. Persons, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Said a super chat because I'm alive through God blessings, Tim. Hey, we are so happy you're here. You know, I'm accepting those blessings, sending them right back to you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I appreciate the love. Thank you. Retired 2019. Super Chat Train. Said, Tim, 9 months ago, I was dependent on a walker. I just completed a 1,200-mile road trip and did all the driving no walker needed. Feeling grateful. Yes, let's go. I did not know you was like a walker. That's crazy. I knew you were, struggling, going through some things, but I didn't know you was dependent on like walker. That is amazing. Ever since you told me you were getting better, I've been so happy. So to hear that you completed a 1,200-mile road trip, did all the driving, no walker, let's go. That is amazing. That genuinely is amazing. Makes me so happy. I appreciate the updates, and it is awesome. To hear you feeling better, man. I mean that genuinely means so much. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Glad to hear you on a road trip too. Out there traveling. Let's go. Empowered and free. Alvin, how's it going? Happy New Year. Good to see you. Yeah, Goddess. I've been saying don't watch the news for years. You're absolutely right. The news is probably the lowest vibrational, one of the lowest vibrational things you can look at. It's all negativity. It's all negativity. And think about it. Why is the news 98% negative, 2% positive? At the end, they might have a cute little story on the local news. Come by so-and-so and get free cupcakes. But the rest of it is negative. Why? Life isn't set up that way. If you watch the news, you start to think life is that. It's all negative, very little positive. Life isn't that. If life was that negative, none of us would be here. We wouldn't humanity would have destroyed itself millennia ago. The news gives you an improper representation of life. But if that's what you watch every single evening for 3 hours, guess what you're going to believe? Because then you go to work and you talk about the negativity on the news. It is possible to see something on the news, comment on it. If there's anything you can do about it, do it, and then move on. It's possible to know what's going on in the world around you without watching the news every night. I guarantee, I would bet good English money that the person you know in your life that watches the news the most is the most miserable person you know. I have never heard anybody be like, oh, Aunt Glenda, the one who's always smiling, the one who's always happy, the one who's always helping other people, who's dedicated her life to being a servant of others. She always watches the news. No, never. It's usually the opposite. It's oh, Uncle Charles is going to be here. He always tripping. He always angry. He just sits in there and watches the news. You know what I mean? I promise you, The most bitter, angry, scared person you know in your life probably watches the news the most. The people you know in your life who are just happy and joyful, they almost never watch the news. I don't need to know every bad thing's going on in the world. If there's something really crazy, for example, I didn't know about the fires in LA. People brought it up. I said, let me look into it. I looked into it. Boom. And I have to remember, I saw a Red Cross thing, and I was like, okay, I do want to. Or I saw it somewhere. I was like, I do want to, do some charitable giving for that. One thing that I know some people don't like Red Cross. I'm not recommending. I'm just saying one of the things I do like about Red Cross is it allows you to donate to a specific disaster. So I'm like, okay, that was crazy. So I try to do that. But then beyond that, like I don't have to sit and watch the news footage and the news trying to overhype disasters and make money off people suffering for a week straight. You can be tapped in, see what's happening, feel horrible about it, do what you can to help. You don't have to just like sit and watch and get more. You know what I mean? Like it's and then blame people. I wasn't 10 minutes into like watching stuff about the fires in LA to where you start seeing the news stories with the blame. This would have never happened if blah blah, and it's always political. If it wasn't for this party or wasn't for this party, I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. It went very quickly from concern for the people who lost everything or the people who died. It very quickly went to let's blame somebody, which brings about anger and hate and all that stuff. I'm not playing that game, bro. I'm not walking around, instead of putting my energy towards maybe helping or sending good vibes, sending prayers, putting my energy towards being mad at a politician. I'm not doing it. We don't have to play their games, bro. The news is one of their games. I promise you. The news is their game. The day the news is 90% positive, and on the back end they're like, "Oh, we got to show you this negative stuff, these crime statistics. We have to. We're legally obligated. We don't want to." Then I'll watch. But like, as long as it's just like negative, commercial, negative, commercial, negative, I'm not playing that game. I'm not. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. Drew Chill, what up, what up, what up? Life's getting better every day. I love that, Michael. I love it. You got them wangs, Drew? Healing, yeah, man. They're an amazing community here. I feel truly blessed to, be surrounded by such an amazing community. I mean that. Oh, I'm clicking the pin again. Okay, I'm throwing it. Thank you for letting me know, Angela. I'm throwing it. I put it on the bed. Now I can't reach it. Free cupcakes on it. Uh-oh. Angela Cleveland, you're the miserable news watcher. Uh-oh, sorry. I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all. He should have been gone. Okay, y'all knew that was coming. Alvin Anthony, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Said I want to share my wealth with you. We made it through 2024. Hey, that rhymed. I want to share my wealth with you. We made it through 2024. Thank you, Alvin. I appreciate that. I appreciate the sharing of the wealth. I appreciate the abundance, the support. Thank you so much. We made it through. And we're going to make it through 2025. Like, we here. This is what we do. We're going to make it through 2025 and have so many good stories about all the abundance and, like, the things we're able to achieve and the growth we did. While everybody else is going to be fixated on whatever bad stuff is going to happen, we can be... People aren't going to get it. How are y'all so excited? Like, how are y'all so happy? Like, what's going on with y'all? Don't you see? People love to be like, don't you see this? Some people do it in the chat. Maybe some people who haven't, aren't as far on the journey or haven't, whatever. But what about this? What about this? What about this? I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with what we're trying to do, right? We understand that's happening. And I even fall for it myself sometimes. I might get a little too negative and every now and then. Sometimes I'll just be discussing something, but I might be a little too negative with the discussion in a video occasionally. I have to reel myself back in. But like, We not doing that 2025, man. We focus on other stuff, you know. People not gonna understand it. Just RD9, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Said at 35, this is exactly where I'm at in life. Love your videos, keep doing what you're doing. Hey, I definitely will. And I think 35 is one of those ages where, like, I know for me, like at 33 is when I started really being like, 33, 34, start finding myself just looking at tiny house content and travel. You know what I mean? Like I think 30, that's kind of where a lot of people have been working like 15 years, 16, 17 years, maybe longer, depending on when you started working. And I think that's, you start thinking about certain things, Up until then, you might have just been going along with whatever. This is how life is. I'm doing it. You get over a decade plus into it. And if it's not giving you what you need it to give you, I think you start looking around. And a lot of times, sadly, we look around and put the blame on us because we live in a society that is very much like anybody can make it here. If you're not making it, it's your fault. And then they just define what making it is, right? This is what making it is. If you don't have this, you're a failure. So we start to look around and we realize maybe we're not living the life we thought we're going to be, or maybe it's just not giving it. We might have a great life, but like if it's not giving us what we need, if it's not meaningful, if it's not fulfilling, we start to look around like, what's the problem? And if we just go along with what everybody else says, we're like, oh, I'm the problem because I haven't been working hard enough. I haven't achieved what they achieve. I haven't done so and so. But honestly, a lot of that stuff that we look around and feel down on ourselves we haven't done or haven't acquired, we don't want. That was something I realized. I'm like, Tim, the reason you don't have the BMW and the condo downtown is because low key, I don't think you want it. And some people say that's cope, as the kids say. But like, honestly, it's like the reason I didn't spend my time and money going after that, even though I kept saying I was going to, is because like, I don't think low key that's what I wanted. And that's what around 33, 34, I'm like, well, what do you want? And that's how I ended up like traveling at 35. That's when I started traveling. 10 years ago, this year, January 1st, 2015. So 10 years ago. It's like, bro, like what I want to see the world. I want to meet some new people. Like, you know what I mean? I just want to see some stuff. Like, I don't just want to, and this was just me. Everybody's different. But for me, it was like part of the reason I don't think I ever achieved the American dream was because like that wasn't my dream. Like I'm so much more happier having spent the last 10 years doing what I love for the majority of that time. I'm way more happier than I would have been if I had achieved the American dream as I thought it was at the time. My BMW would be like 10 years old now. I'd be bored with that. You know what I mean? Like I'd be bored with that condo. I probably would hate the job I was at. You know what I mean? It's just like, but yeah, I think that age is when we start to question things. And it's great when we realize like we have the freedom to figure out what we want the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Like, what do we want our 40s to look like? What do we want our 50s to look like? It doesn't have to be based on what they told us. If you don't have this, if you don't have that, well, what if I don't want that? Or what if I don't want that now? What if I want that at 50 and I want to spend the next 15 years working very little and working on my album, working part-time and then working on my album, whatever, you know what I mean? Writing a book, whatever, So thank you, Just. Thank you. Appreciate the love. How old is too old for seasonal work, Keith? I started it at 35. And honestly, I just finished I worked the summer at the YMCA of the Rockies, here in Colorado, Estes Park, Colorado. During the summer, I think the two main age groups is like 18 to 25 and 55 to 65. So, I don't think, see, a lot of the people who do seasonal work, seasonal work is like a little different than the real world because a lot of people are doing it because they want to like be in beautiful places. They want to meet new people. They want to travel. So if you have those same views, you're going to get along good. Like my first seasonal job, one of my best friends was my guy, Jan. And Jan was like 65, 60. He was in his 60s. Jan was in his 60s. He's moved on to glory now. He's no longer with us. And like that hurts my heart to this day that me and Jan didn't get to spend more time. But like we hit it off. I was 35. He was 65. We hit it off like day two. And that was my guy. You know what I mean? Like I love Jan. Like that was my guy. You know what I mean? And all the even the people like in their 20s and like loved like Jan was a special person. Um, but like there was no ideal of like him being too old because like he could do the job. And you know, he had the same values and like, you know, passions and hobbies the rest of us did. So it was just like, you know, like I feel like in an environment like that, you're judged a lot less on like your age and just a lot more on like who you are. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, are you cool? Cool. Like, you know, and back then I was still drinking and partying, so I was right there with the 20 somethings. I was, yeah, we we was in the mix. So yeah, hey, if seasonal work, Keith, is something you're interested in, I'd say go for it. I really don't see any ageism when it comes to the hiring process. Like if you can do the job, I know the managers and whatnot do not care. A lot of times they're happy to have someone who's a little older because, like, once again, when a majority of your staff 18 to 25, a lot of people it's their first job, second job, and not saying they're lazy or whatever, but they just don't have the work experience. So sometimes it's cool to have someone who's had a career, been working for 30 years to come in and be like, okay, you know, you need that balance. So yeah. Oh, book the flights for your Vegas trip, Angela. Nice, nice. You got fun in Vegas, man. Late Pizza Boy, what up? What up? Yeah, you got fun in Vegas, Angela. I'm excited to hear your stories. Well, I mean, you know, the ones you tell. I know it's Vegas. Healing, Bone is like Thuggish Ruggish Bone is on my, you know, top 100 song list. Like I listen to that, you know, that's one of them songs you can turn on and just, you know what I mean? And he like, I love Thuggish Ruggish Bone is like one of them all-time classics. Thought I ran that away. Thought I ran that away. You don't know because I got away. I got a criminal mind. I got my favorite. I don't say favorites. I have a verse on there I really like too. I think everybody does. Everybody got they verse. Username loves the tiny house. Let's go. Yeah, I'm still in Colorado, Eric. It's going good. It's going good. Can't complain. You know, I'm getting restless, so we're gonna be up out of here soon. But yeah, it's going good. Joe Howard, thank you. Super Chat Squad, that is love. So 1 year alcohol free. Yes, let's go, Joe. Let's go. Thanks in part to my boy Tim. Sorority video collection came in clutch. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. That is awesome, Joe. I know, man. That first year just lets you know you got this. You know what I mean? That is amazing. I feel genuinely blessed that my content could play even a little part in that. So that's awesome, Joe. That's all. Let's go. Ooh, I love it. That first year, bro. Like they can't. For how many years over? You can't tell me nothing. That's awesome, Joe. Keep it going. I know you will, and I appreciate the love. Thank you. Michael, your grandma got married at 85. Okay. Yeah, that's what they always say, Matt. When you say, "Hey, maybe watch a little less news," they're like, "But I need to know what's going on." Why? What has it gotten you? That's like how they rope you into watching the news. Like, oh, I need to know, and that's our primitive caveman brain, cavewoman brain. Oh, I need to know. Like back then, we had very little input and stimuli. You know what I mean? So you could back then when we lived in caves, ooga ooga, you could take in everything because there was only like 10 things that happened per day. The fire went out. There's a mastodon on the loose. Our thug got hit by a falling boulder. You could take in everything that you were told. You know, at night you set her on the fire. draw it on the wall. But now our brain still has kind of that same ideal of like, I need to take in everything, but it's just too much and it's like too negative. That's what I'm saying. It's like you look at people sometime and not judging them, but you're like, okay, you watch the news every single night because you need to be up on everything, but you hate your life. So how is that working out for you? You know what I mean? Like if someone watches the news and they learn stuff and like they have the great partner, kids are raised well, they're financially free, they got everything. Hey, it's working for you. You watching that news and knowing everything is working for you, man. Working for you, sir. Cool. But I'm like, a lot of times it don't quite seem that way. So like, why do you need to know? Maybe know less, do more. I don't know. Michael wants the BMW in the condo. Hey, go for it. Like if that's truly what you want, go get it. Nothing's wrong. If it ain't illegal, it ain't hurt nobody, nothing's wrong. Like we can't judge other people's dreams as long as it's genuinely their dream. But most people just go after the dream we've been sold. And that's why even if they get it, they're not happy. Because they don't want it. Which is it's crazy to spend your whole life chasing something and finally get it and still not be happy. Oh. Make money doing nothing. That's what you want, Eric? Hey, figure it out. Healing. I don't get anxious on the plane, so like I wouldn't know. Let me take that back. For me, if I sitting by the window, like I used to sit by the aisle because I got long legs because I'm 6'4", and I like to be able to stretch my leg in the aisle. But I did find that if the person by the window had the window down, sometimes I would get a little, if I sit by the window and I can look out the window, I'm fine. So yeah, let me take that back. I did used to find there were some trips where like it was dark and the window shade was down and I was just kind of like, we might hit some turbulence and I start feeling kind of, and I got through it. Like if you ever see me put my head down on the flight, if I'm not just sleeping, like I'm either my stomach's acting up and I take Dramamine so that doesn't happen anymore, or like I'm feeling, but if I sit by the window and I can look out the window, for some reason that calms me down. So I always get window seats now. I'm to the point, like if I can't get a window seat, unless it's like a hour flight or something, like if it's anything over like an hour or so, if I can't get the window seat, I won't take the flight. Nope. So that's one thing I do is I just look out the window. Sometimes people get mad at me because it'd be like nighttime, or it'll be time when people want you to close the window. Or if the sun's really coming in, I keep the window open. I pay for the seat. Sometimes I'll put it like halfway down, but yeah, I need that window seat to look out the window. Or like Eric said, for people who drink, you can get a drink. I don't know. Hey, Nomadic, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Sorry it took me a while to get down there. Thank you so much. So thanks for the great vibes of positive energy, Tim. You are welcome. Nomadic, Benito, thank you. You are welcome. I appreciate you being here and taking part in these vibes and energy and sending them back. And I definitely appreciate that support. Thank you. Going back to school in your middle 40s? Hey, if you want to go back to school, go back to school. Like there's no rules on when you can go. Go. If that's what you want to do it. It might be more fun. Oh, David, you've been to the YMCA of the Rockies? Oh, nice. You stayed at the Al Philly cabin? How long ago was your honeymoon? I feel like that's not a cabin anymore. Either it's a brand new one or it's an old one. Because I know most of the cabins. I'm like, I don't know if I've seen that one. That might have been a while. They might have redone that one. But that's awesome. YMCA of the Rockies is a special place. That's why I recommended it for so many years to people, especially for like your first seasonal job. There's some really amazing people who work there. people that I consider family. Like there's some awesome people that work there. It's a special location, um, almost a spiritual location on some levels. Yeah, yeah. Any like anybody who gets a chance to like visit there, I think it. Yeah, you'll be. You take the kids up there, you'll be happy. What can you do to fill your free time if you don't drink? What do you like to do? You know that used to be my thing, but it's like, but here's the thing, I would get drunk and do stuff. So I was like, just do the stuff you do anyway, sober, Tim. I was like, what am I gonna do if I don't drink? Well, what do you do? I get drunk and watch Netflix. Well, watch Netflix sober. Hang out with your friends sober. Like, or you might find things you like to do that you haven't discovered because you were drunk all the time. You know? Trucking ridiculous. Yeah, I'm still in Colorado. I feel like we're winding the time down. I'm getting restless, but I'm sure I feel like we'll figure out somewhere to go here shortly. Hey, yeah. See you later. Healing. Honestly, the years I spent drinking does not feel like a waste of time. Because I had a lot of fun. You know what I mean? That's the phase of life I was in, and I think it just depends on perspective as well. I could look back and be like, oh, I wasted all that time, or I can just be like, that's what I wanted to do at the time. That's a part of my journey. I don't know if I would be doing what I'm doing today if I didn't do that. So nah, it doesn't seem like a waste. Like I had a lot of fun. It sucked sometimes, and there was a lot of down to it, which is why I stopped. But I had a lot of fun, and it was what I wanted to do. Like you can't do what you want to do in life and then turn around and be mad. Like you can, but what like so it's like yeah, at the time that's what I wanted to do. So it can't be a waste of time if that's what I wanted to do. Like from in hindsight, like looking at it from the wisdom I have now, I might be like, oh, I could have saved up so much money, or I could have done this, or I could have done that. But who knows? If that's what I would have done if I wasn't drinking. So no, I personally don't view it as a waste of time. I had some really good times, made some really good friends. You know, we it's just what you do, you know. But when it was time to stop, it was time to stop. You know, I wish I hadn't have like hurt the people I hurt drunk. Beyond that, like it was what I wanted to do. You know, Eric said I want to start a YouTube channel but don't know where to start. Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson, my advice would be if you have a topic you want to think, like if you already know what you want to talk about, just make a video talking about it, post it, and you've started. If you don't know what you want to talk about, I don't know if content creation is for you. It could be. Not saying it's not, but like I think the people who really like, if you really have something like, bro, I just want to get on the internet, talk about this, do that. But if it's like, I don't even know what I want to talk about, and once again, not saying you can't do it, but like, are you gonna stick with it? That's what I'm saying. Like, because a lot of times, especially these days, I think people get started on YouTube for the money, and that's fine. But it's going to be harder to keep going than if you just do YouTube in the beginning because you just have a burning desire to talk about something. So like, if you have a burning desire to talk about something, just turn your phone on, talk about it, post it. No one's gonna watch the first video anyway, you know. Besides that, yeah, I think it's a lot harder to like figure out what to talk about if you don't know what you want to talk about, because then you just have to like pick something. Once again, if YouTube's a dream, do it. But I say go with something you enjoy, you know. Oh, Mount Charleston in Vegas. I just like realized I didn't even know there was a place like that close to Vegas. So I think last time I was there, I heard about it. Antoinette been to Vegas? Okay. Busy Bones touring solo? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Would I play in the NBA if I had a chance? No. Not. I'm not really a sports person. Dorothea, yeah. Jan was a good. He's a good people. He was good people. Appreciate you saying that. Thank you. How about the freezing weather in Denver? I just stay in the house, nomadic. On them really cold days, I'd be in the house. But that's part of the reason I'm leaving too. Is like it's getting too cold. We had snow. We had a couple. It might have snowed in the past 2 months, like 4 times maybe. Uh, the big snows haven't come yet, so I think I'm gonna get up out of here before they do. What up, Praveen? Welcome back. God, I said at 45, I want to do less. My kids are grown and married. It's just me and my husband. Now I want to relax most of the time. Do it. Do it. Do it. Jimbo, I don't think I've read that book. No. Yeah, RN, I just saw, what was I hadn't seen those windows on the plane before. I think I was on like Korean Air, and that was the first time I'd seen those windows that you can dim. The plane windows that like I was like, how do I was confused. I'm like, where's the and I'm like, oh, you dim the window. I was like, that's crazy. I like that. I like that. That was cool. That was cool. I said, Delta, you gotta step your game up. Delta, gotta step your game up. Yeah, those windows are cool. Hey, Praveen, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you, Praveen. Jose Montes. No, I'm not at the YMCA. I left there in November. Yeah. Jessica, you dedicated 1 year of your life to drinking and partying at 26. It got old real quick. You stopped and moved on. Hey, I like that. I like that. See, you tried it. It was cool. It got old. You moved on. You know, respect, respect. I dedicated 16 years. You know. Dedicated a few more years, but kind of the same thing. It got old. It got crazy. Had to move on. Hey, Alf win. Glad the title drew you in. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you commenting. Stick around for a while. If you hear something you like. Christina, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my home base because I haven't found it yet. I have an aversion, damn near an allergy to leases. So I probably would try like to find something month to month, ideally. But I don't know because I mean I could find a really decent apartment somewhere and I'd be like, man, I gotta lock this in. I don't know. I would imagine I'd be far more likely to do something month to month, but never say never. For the right place, the right situation, I'm not totally against signing a lease. I'm only like 98% against it. But the beauty of having the freedom to kind of look around and shop around is, I never know where I'm going to find what I'm looking for. So, or in what package that blessing is going to come in. So, I was looking here in Denver and I came close, but I think the cold is the main. Like, I want to find a home base where I can be at year round. And yeah, Denver is amazing in the summer. It really is. But in the surrounding areas, but I don't know if I want to be here in the wintertime. And I'm like, I did a winter in Denver before, and it was so yeah. Jose Monte, right now you said, what are you doing now? We just enjoying life, we just living life. TJ, hey, well, at least you got this connection, and glad to hear you're going to work on that this year. This year, you're getting new connections. We're going to take the somehow out, all that. We're just going to put out the intention. This year, I'm going to make new connections, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be great. And I'm going to have people to talk to and hang out with, or however you want to connect. Yeah, we're leaving out the somehows and the maybes. I was talking to a friend of mine. I did it yesterday. I was talking to her and I said something. I said hopefully, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry about that. I'm leaving out the hopefullys. You know, this is what I'm doing. This is what's happening. You know, like if you watch our speech, We've been programmed, all of us. It's not our fault. So, like, we won't even say something's going to happen without saying hopefully, maybe, possible. No, just say it's going to happen. You know? So this year you're finding connection. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to come back and be like, guess what? It happened. I told y'all. Connections. We're gonna be like, where you been at? You go, I've been doing stuff. I can't hang out with y'all all the time. I got people in my life. Y'all were cool. Y'all were cool and I needed y'all, but like I got stuff going on now. Oh man, I'm having fun. FMX, how's it going? Would I consider buying or renting a tiny home? I would not buy a tiny home. Maybe rent one. Maybe I don't know if tiny homes are my thing anymore. I think tiny homes, my fascination with tiny homes served the purpose to get me to start traveling. But I don't know if I really want a tiny home. I mean, I would probably prefer like a regular apartment to a tiny home, honestly. Jose Montes, I don't have a seasonal job currently, and I haven't got one for the summer yet, so I don't know. We'll see. Intentionally purposeful. Happy New Year. What up, Mr. Syracuse? Orange Gray. 98%. So you're saying there's a chance. Speak what you want to existence. Facts. Do I ever watch my own videos? I have to watch them before I post them. So I'll watch them then. And then, which when you're editing, like now, since I don't do a lot of editing, I just have to watch it once. I upload it, I watch it, everything's good to go. When you're editing, you end up watching the same video a billion times. And then you have to watch it all the way through again. You get to the point, if it's a long video, you tired of the video. When you do like a 20, that's why I'm like, I ain't gonna do no 25 steps videos no more, because that is a lot of watching. Anyway, because you got to make sure every transition worked out. And then when you're done, you got to rewatch the whole thing, because there'll be that one. How did I get number 13, number 14 backwards? Anyway, and very rarely I'll go back and watch an old video just because I might be going through my videos and I'm like, oh, where was I at when I did that one? Or I might want to see an area, back when I put a lot more footage in my videos. I'm like, oh, I want to see when I walked across the Golden Gate Bridge. So I'll go watch that video just to kind of see the stuff, but I don't do it a lot. Yeah. Hey, Alpha making new connections as well this year. Nice, nice. Hang on one second, folks. I have to I gotta plug my phone in. Give me 1 second. Oh, sorry about that, folks. I had to plug my phone in, turn the heater off, use the bathroom, get another drink. Okay. Hey, Alfonso, thank you. Alfonso Petty Jr., thank you. Said amen, Tim. Connect, imagine, and communicate with intention while accepting abundance to share with others. Yes. I'm going to read that again. Connect, imagine, and communicate with intention while accepting abundance to share with others. Let's go. I mean, that's what it's about. Like, and I'm glad you mentioned imagination, because, like, I think we're given imagination to help us with our goals and dreams. I don't think we're given imagination solely just to, like, imaginate, you know? I know it's not a word, but, like, you know what I mean? I think we're given imagination so we can imagine the things we want to do and the life we want to have, so we can do it. Like, if we didn't have an imagination, we'd have to just do what everybody else was doing. We wouldn't know anything else. So I think we have that so we can do other stuff, you know? Thank you, Alfonso. Super Chat Squad. Thank you. Appreciate that love. Oh, see you later, Michael. Michael will be back. Michael will go away, come back. Nina, how's it going? Wood panel wall. How do you get away from always worrying about work and focusing on yourself and family? I feel like I can't stop worrying. I think one of the things that really helps is realizing that, like, worrying doesn't work. If you can, and the first step is to be like, okay, I want to stop worrying so much. If you can catch yourself worrying and, like, do a hard stop on the worry, like, every time, because, like, the problem comes when we just keep worrying and worrying and worrying. But if you can stop yourself and be like, wait a second, worrying doesn't work. Let me think about something else. Let me change the channel. Let me take it off worry TV and put it on something else. And then, yeah, in the beginning, you'll jump back to worry TV 5 minutes later, but you can stop it again. Hey, worrying doesn't work. Worrying does not work. Because most of the things we worry about never happen. They don't. Think about, like, if you're constantly worrying, that means you are making stuff up to worry about constantly. And the things that do end up happening, you just deal with them. 90% of the things we worry about never happen. The 10% that do, the worrying didn't help us any. We just got through it, you know? And thinking on that long term, combined with stopping ourselves when we find ourselves worrying, over time, you'll notice that, like, you're not worrying as much. But yeah, like, because the problem is just being in worry mode and just worry. If you can break that up you know, and the more you realize, like, oh yeah, I was, and the more you consciously see, okay, there was this situation, these are the things I worried about. When it came to pass, none of it happened. You get in the next situation and you're like, oh, wait a second, all this, okay, half of this ain't gonna happen, worry anyway. You know, half of this isn't gonna happen anyway. Half of this isn't going to happen anyway. So I'm gonna stop worrying about it. And then there is too, the, like, once again, we think back all the things we've all gone through. We've all had struggles, we've all had pain, all had suffering, all had loss. We got through it all. We're gonna have all of that in the future, and we're gonna get through that too. I'm not trying to think about it before then. Like, I only want to have to deal with loss when it happens. I'm not trying to worry about it beforehand and have to deal with it until it happens and when it happens. But, like, in today's society, I think it's natural to worry so much because, like, we're constantly having negative stuff put before us. You know, I think a big part of that too is what we consume. If we're consuming a lot of stuff that puts us in a fearful mood, we're gonna be scared. You know, I think that's part of it too for some of us. I can't say your name because it's written in a different language, but Super Chat Squad, thank you. You know who you are. Yes, you got the thank you. You know who you are. Thank you. I need to get a language translator on here. How to live free in a place with high levels of criminal activity. Uh, Talita, I don't. I think that's one of the situations where you have to figure out a way to leave. You know what I mean? And I don't say that lightly. I know it's hard to do. I sympathize with you, but like you can't like that's a situation where the only control you have is to leave the situation. You can't stop people from being criminals, and like it's hard to live free when that's the environment you're in. So the goal, the intention that you can state for yourself then is like, I'm going to find a way as quickly as possible to get out of this area of high criminal activity, because like there's no way you can stop people from doing crime if they want to. We don't have that power. We do have the power to like get out of that situation as soon as possible. Um, but like, yeah, you can't influence criminals to stop if it's a high crime area, sadly. And I'll definitely be saying prayers for you. I mean that because I understand the how that is. But yeah, the goal can be like as soon as possible, I'm getting out of here, and that be your focus. And the day comes when you're living in an area with that stuff just doesn't happen, and then you can work on the peace and and freedom a lot easier. Monkey finesse. People really don't care about your address when it comes to jobs. Nobody cares. I've worked in states all. No one cares. No one cares. The only reason a job cares about your address, like the only reason they might care, like if you're getting a job in the real world, say if I was going to get a job at a hotel in Denver, they might look at my address just to see that I live locally. And if I'm being honest with you, if I think it's a situation like that, like the only reason they really need your address is to send you your W-2, and like that's electronic anymore. So like what I would do, like I actually did this when I was living in Denver and I wanted to get a supervisor job at a hotel. Like you can just make up an address. They're not going to mail you anything until February. You just have to go into HR before February and change your address. They don't care. Like nobody, yeah, you know what I mean? That's the only reason they care is if they're trying to make sure you're local, which a lot of places don't care because you can just be like, oh, I just moved. That's my old address. I just moved here. Problem solved. Or you can just make up an address. They're not going to mail you anything. And then come time for them to mail you your W-2s, if they still live like it's the 1970s, you just go into, and I would do this just to precautionary, just go into HR after you've been working there for a month or so and be like, hey, I want to change my address. And if they say why, it's like, because I want my mail to go here. So it's really not a big deal. It's not a legally binding thing, your address at a job. Like, no, because I mean, most places don't even mail you nothing anymore. So like, they don't care. Like, what if they just need you to fill out the address line. But yeah, like for me, like you just need to have a secure location to get all your tax stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that just comes up in life where you want to have a secure location to have stuff mailed to. So if that's like if you have the ability for it to be your parents' house, that's awesome because it's free. So just pick an address that like this is where all my illegal documentation. For example, you go to the doctor out of state, right? You want like they may need to mail you some type of paperwork or whatever. You want to have one address that's like your legally binding address or whatever, where all the important stuff goes. So if you can do a parent's house, a friend's house, someone you trust, and you want it to be an address that like the person's not going to move anytime soon. I use a mail forwarding service. I've had them for years. It's my legal address. Some states allow you to do that. And like, yeah, they accept all my mail on my behalf. They keep it. They mail it to me when I want it. So that's the address I use always, unless, like I said, I want to show that I live locally. Just if I get a vibe they might care about that, then you can just make up an address. It doesn't matter, or use wherever you're at currently. But yeah, intentionally purposeful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Said anxiety is future thought. True, 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 true. Like worrying doesn't work because if it did, we wouldn't have any problems. We would have worried them away. That's, but it definitely takes time. Like you can, because worrying isn't logic. It's not logical. So it takes a lot of logic and reasoning to fix it because it's illogical in the first place. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, worrying doesn't make any sense and be done. No, you're going to keep doing it. Not to mention, you've already programmed like your subconscious to like worry, worry, worry. So you have to like reason on it and work on it over a long enough period of time that it starts to get better. It's a process. It's a process. One, two, three Main Street. Yeah, it's definitely a process. Like, and even once you get better at it, there will be things that pop up that like, you start to get worried again. But once you really have that realization that like it doesn't matter, it doesn't help, you'll know it's like an exercise in futility. Like, yeah, I'm sitting up here worrying, but I know it's not gonna do nothing. Then you're like, why am I doing this? Like, then yeah, there's the worst case scenario view. Some people just like, okay, in this situation, what's the worst thing that could happen? Okay, I'll just have to deal with that if it happens. The next time you go to worry about it, you're like, hey, we've already accepted that if the worst thing happens, we can deal with it. So what are we like? What am I stressed about? I'm gonna go watch the game. Thank you, Angela, for asking people at the like button. Thank you. Likes are looking good, by the way. And we could always use more, of course, but they're looking good. Thank you. Ooh, I like that, Nicole. Can't stop a thought, but you can redirect a thought. Counter every bad thought with a good thought. It helps. Facts, facts. Yeah, because like it's that constant like worry wheel. It's just you go to bed worried about something. You wake up first thing in the morning worried about it. It's just if you can just stop that, send that energy somewhere else, even if it's for like 5 minutes. And then when it comes back, you send it somewhere like that helpful. But when it's just that constant, that's what wears on you. That constant, just like worry, 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 stress. That's why sometimes it's good to just be like, you know what? It's gonna happen. If the worst thing I'm worrying about does happen, you know what? At least I want to worry about it no more. Because that's the thing. Like, have you ever noticed that some things you're worried about or you're nervous or scared about when it actually does start happening, it's not near as bad as the worry. You just figure it out. Yeah, this kind of sucks, but you figure it out. But the worry is like, oh, the worrying will drive you crazy. Like your heart be hurting, your breath be weird. Like the worrying will get you when it's actually happening. What up, Nick? When it's actually happening, you have like action you can take. Typically, when we're worried about something, there's nothing we can do. That's why we're worried. If there's an action you can take the action. But typically, there's no action. We're worried about something that's going to happen a month from now. We can't do nothing about it because we ain't got a time machine, to go forward a month and fix. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of times when it actually happens, it's easier because you're just like, oh, I can actually do something about it. So it's just like, let go of all that until it happens, bro. Like, that's a good one, Nicole. Once you accepted you could die, wasn't afraid to live. That's a big one. Once you realize it's coming, and it's okay. Death is coming, and that's fine. It's okay. Then yeah, you're not so worried about living because like you're not thinking every choice you make is going to lead to your death. That's already coming. The Grim Reaper already got you penciled in. So, what's there to worry about? I had my Prius for 4 years. No, wait, 3 years. I bought it in the middle of 2020 and I sold it at the end of 2023. So like 3.5 years. 21, 22, so like 3.5 years, maybe. Yeah, that's a good point too, God. It's like it's just our body that dies. It's just the human experience is over, but like your energy, the force that animates this human body goes somewhere. Like I get excited about, like I tell myself a lot, if not this life, the next one, and I get excited about what my next life is going to look like. So like I'm enjoying this life. I'm excited about the 40, 50 years I got left, if the universe, if God grants me that. But I'm also excited to see what happens afterwards. Like, you know, I get to go somewhere else and do something else. Ooh, I like to explore. I'm a nomad. So when I'm done here, my energy goes somewhere else. Let's sign me up eventually. Sign me up eventually. Besides outside recreational activities, what was a common mistake you saw in seasonal workers? Blowing all their money. Blowing all their money and not saving. You know, yeah, not saving any money. But I mean, that's a common mistake in general. So, monkey. So my Prius, I got titled. You asked how I took care of the tags while traveling. My Prius was tagged in Montana. In Montana, if it's over 10 years old, you can get a permanent tag, which the lady was like, it's pretty expensive. I was like, how much? She was like $107. So for like, it was like 100 some dollars. I got a permanent tag, so I never had to register it like ever again. So it worked out perfect for me. So yeah, right before I left, um, I got the permanent tag, and I never had to worry about it ever again. So I just had to pay my insurance, and it was fine. So if you're in a state that doesn't do that, yeah, you'll probably just have to update it online. Yeah. So it helps if you have an address that, like, when they send you that paper in the mail that said it's time to, whatever, it helps if you got somebody who can send you that or let you know that it's time. Yeah. But yeah, you can just do it online now. What up, Rochelle? Yo, the few nights I slept in my car, um, if I had, I'm gonna be honest, like, I hope this isn't too graphic. If I had to do like number one, I just did it in the car in like a bottle. And if I had to do number two, I just drove to, like, I made sure to know where there was like a 24-hour rest stop or something, that only happened like once. I only slept in my car a few nights, but yeah, I just found where there was like a 24-hour like Pilot or Flying J or something like that, and I just went in there and used the bathroom. Like a 24-hour gas station or something. Eric Irwin said I was a constant worrier, but did not stop me from living. Yes, I can tell you, after now living in my third country in 3 years, I think the U.S. hustle culture leads to a lot of depression and anxiety. I agree. I agree, Eric, and I appreciate you weighing in and letting us know that, like, you can do it scared. You can be worried about it, still do it. And yeah, that input on, like, yeah, and that's one of those things is like, if you're in something, you don't think it's abnormal, but like you get out of it for a little while and you come back to it, and you like, this, nah. This is crazy. But yeah, I do think that is one of the things, like, when the couple times I've been out the country, actually it's more than a couple times, um I just keep going to the same countries, but it's been a few times. But that is one thing I appreciate, is like, they not it's different. Like the vibe is different. Like, it's not so much. And now you in the West, we're very good at exporting our stuff to other places, but it's different. Like, yeah, there's not this go this constantly always having to go. My video for this week is going to be kind of touches on that. But yeah, it's interesting that, like, but you don't see it until you see it. and a lot of times it takes seeing another culture to get it. Um, and yeah, that hustle culture is what makes you think you're behind, because it's like, oh, if you hustle hard enough, if you go enough, you can have all this. So if you don't have all this, you're like, oh, I must not have hustled hard enough. But it might be like, no, you just don't want it. Like it's just not meant for you. And it's a big earth. Lots of places you can go. Should you work at Alaska or Glacier this summer? Oh, I don't know, Nick. Which one are you leaning towards? I'll say Alaska. Okay, good. Savon gonna become a meteorologist. I like that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else ever say that. I like that. Yeah, Nick. The American Dream illusion is like I was thinking about this the other day because I might do a follow up video about the American Dream. But like the American Dream hasn't really changed. The way in which you can get it has, right? And what I mean by that is I think we all kind of want, and even if it's not in this package, because the American Dream, the house, the car, the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, the dog, even if you don't want it in that package, that basically is just like security and like the ability to take care of your family comfortably, right? That's what the American Dream was. The ability to have like what you needed and some extra luxuries and to be able to do all that comfortably. That's the American Dream. And so some people may not want the kids, may not want the, but it's the same thing. Um, so I feel like that hasn't changed. What has changed is it's a lot harder to get that, right? What has changed is it's not one person working, one parent working, being able to have that anymore. It's not as easy to get comfortable and secure in America anymore when it comes to like work. So I was like, oh, the American dream's still the same. Because that's basically the dream of everybody around the world is like security and some comfort. But it's not as the way in which the things you have to do in order to get that have changed. But we're still acting like in some cases it's still the old blueprint works. But honestly, there's like no blueprint. There's like no blueprint now, or 10 different blueprints. Dr. X, I definitely, for a while, have realized that there's no place to escape Mother Nature. Natural disasters, I don't even want to describe it that way. There's no place you can go where this is not possible to have a natural disaster. Now, there are some places that are more prone. So you have to factor that in when you're deciding where to live. But there's no place where a natural disaster can't hit. Sadly, there's part of me thinks it's the planet fixing itself from all the damage we've due to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just I came to that as someone who travels a lot. I came to that realization of like, now I know if I'm not home in Florida, which I rarely am these days during hurricane season, I'm a lot less likely to get hit by a hurricane. Um, but I've been evacuated for fires. You know what I mean? I've been through back when I used to go home to Florida. It was I've almost got trapped down there before. Um, I think I have got trapped before, not too long though. But like, I mean, yeah, anywhere you go, something can happen. It's just something I feel like we have to accept. Once again, it's just part of this thing called life. The dream's harder to get, but the dream keeps getting bigger. That's a good point. That is a good point. Well, that's how they keep you on the hamster wheel. which it doesn't seem like it would work that way, but you know what I mean? That's how they keep you. We just keep showing you bigger, better, faster, pretty. Like they got to keep giving you that, like that hit, that dopamine. You know what I mean? Oh, because like if it just stayed regular, it's easy to be like, oh, it's hard to get that. So they got to give you something even bigger, bigger. You know what I mean? Ooh, but what about this? What about this? What about this? They keep you so distracted chasing after stuff that you're not realizing, like, bro, I haven't had a raise in 10 years. You know what I mean? But that if you just work harder, you could have all of this. Even though you can't afford this down here, if you just work harder, you could have this up here. It makes no sense. But, we fall for it because it's what we've been programmed to believe. Um, Monkey finesse. I don't know how I would act unless I was in that situation, but I know for me, my taking care of my family mainly extends to my immediate family, and people I consider family. I don't think I would feel obligated for people outside of that. And my obligation extends as far as like what I can do. So if like someone's dictating what I have to do, if I physically can't do that, I can't do it. You know. So it's just like my goal is to definitely be there if anyone in my family or anyone I consider family needs me. But if someone was trying to guilt trip me into doing it, I don't think I would feel like my obligation extended to me doing everything they asked me to do. Especially if it was like my uncle. But then I'm not very close to uncles. But like, not like I can do what I can do because I feel like that's my obligation, my responsibility. I'm not going to do what you want me to do if I physically can't do it, or even if I can do it. If it's not at the level I feel like obligated to do, if if you're helping people, if helping someone doesn't feel good, you know what I mean? Like it should feel good. You should be happy. You might not always want to spend the money, but after you've done it, after you've helped, um, it should feel good, right? Hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If it's just like, oh, I really don't want to do this for this person, but they're making me do it, yeah, that's a hard one. But like, I just don't feel like if I'm helping someone, they get to write the check. They get to decide what the check. You know what I mean? They get to write the check out, and I just sign it. No, I think it's my check. I write it. I sign it. You know, if that made any sense. Because you got to think about too, and this is not to sound harsh or anything like that, but that person had their entire lifetime to figure out what they were going to do. And once again, I'm all for helping your parents, family members, things of that nature. But if someone who's been here before you and longer than you had their entire lifetime to figure something out, they don't have the right to tell you how to help them. You know what I mean? To guilt trip you. No one has the right to guilt trip you into doing something, especially when they've lived their entire life and ended up in a situation where they're at. Now, there's all types of circumstances. We all can end up in bad situations. But like, no, I don't think any of us have the right to guilt trip someone else into helping us when we all are our own person. And it's like if someone helps us out of the goodness of their heart, great. But I don't think any of us have the right to tell someone else, you have to help me and in this manner when I'm a grown man and I've had my entire life to like put myself in a good situation if possible. You know, that's my thoughts on that. Moving on. Don't come for me in the comments. Or come. Oh yeah, they try to make it hard to live outside the system. Yeah, I've gotten to the point I don't mind that they track my phone. I don't do nothing crazy. There's no privacy. They can track me, they can watch me. I don't do nothing. Would I prefer to live in times where they didn't? But it's like, oh, these are the times we got. Retired 2019 said I used to think owning a home was American dream. It's not for me. I'm with you on that one. Just seems like a lot of money and a lot of work. I Yeah, I'll let somebody else do that one. Jose Monas, you became an independent contractor driver. Okay, okay. Hey, whatever you got to do, get free. Let's do it. What is going on? No, sorry, I was checking the phone. Same guys. They track me, they'll get bored. Which that's a good point too, Antoinette. Like, some it goes the other way around too. You get kids, especially like grown kids, who be expecting their parents to do everything for them, and the parents is like, "We raised you. You 27 now. You still expect me to be as crazy?" Like anybody, no matter which way it goes. Like if people are willing to help us in our time of need, that's amazing. But I don't think we should ever dictate to other people like how they help us. You know what I mean? You can ask, hey, can I borrow so and so? Can I sleep on your couch? What are you gonna ask? But like people doing that for us is a blessing and it's something they do out of the goodness of their heart, not because they have to. You know what I mean? Shout out to the newbies and lurkers. Okay, okay, lurk squad in the building. The noobs, we here. The numbers have been very good today. That's a good point. Like, yeah, the people will always outnumber the masses will always outnumber the small group of people in control. Ironically, though, every time in history where you've seen the masses like uprise and there's been revolution and they've overturned the system, what do they always do? They always create a new system and turn the power back over to a small group of people. That's why you gotta like be your own person. It doesn't matter. No matter, you know what I mean? Like sometimes things get better. Yes. Some governments, some areas, some countries do different things better. Most of them do things better than the US at this point. Um, but even when there's a revolution, even when there's an uprising, they always turn the power back over to a small group of people and they become the rich and powerful and they start the cycle all over again. It's what we do. It's what we do. Y'all waiting for me in Death Valley? Don't wait too long. I don't know if y'all gonna see me out there. Yeah, Jose, and I hear that sentiment from more and more people. Like I say, 10 years ago, when I started talking about all this stuff, people looked at me like I was crazy. I'm not looking so crazy no more. I was talking about living free. I was talking about killing your bills. I was talking about renting rooms and houses to cut down on your housing costs. All this stuff I was talking. Everybody thought I was crazy. They call me broke. All this other stuff. You just aren't working hard enough. You just don't have the all this stuff. I'm not looking so crazy no more. More and more people starting to do things 10 years ago they would have never thought they would have done. Price you pay for looking a little ahead into the future is that you can be called crazy. But the good news is, a lot of people over the years paid attention, started looking ahead too. Some of us in a better situation than we would have been. Introvert Rockstar, you're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you for your consistency. You are welcome. Telling you, people laughed when I said we was going to see an explosion of people living in RVs and cars. What was this, 2017? I'm like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is going to get crazy. Couple people, yeah, you're right, Tim. Mm-hmm. Couple people was tapped in. Nope, people laughed. That was crazy. Okay. Now my video on living in your car, sleep in your car safely, 2.5 million views. People like, oh, thank you for this. Blah, blah, blah. And that's not something I'm happy about. Like, I was hoping I was wrong. You know what I mean? Because most of the people are doing it involuntarily. A lot of people doing it voluntarily. A lot of people like, okay, I'm already paying $600 a month for this car, and I'm paying $1,200 a month for an apartment. How about I just live in the car and just pay the $6? I keep that $12. I stack that, I save that, I invest that. A year from now, I'm in a way better position financially. I'm moving into the Nissan. A lot of people doing it voluntarily, but a lot of people doing it involuntarily. They just don't have the funds to have a place and a car, but you need the car to get to work. If you lose the car, then you're just stuck with the apartment, no way to get to work, making you money to pay for the apartment. So we're going to live in the car because at least that way we have a way to get to work, and we have a place to stay, albeit a vehicle. It's sad. Like, I wish I was wrong, but like I saw it. I saw it coming. Just like I think we're past the tip of the iceberg. We're at the middle of the iceberg. So like, but when I first started talking about it, you could see like this much of the iceberg. Now you can see like this much, but there's a whole berg down here. That's all I'm saying. Don't get scared, get prepared. Like, see, I don't know. But the good news is it's all cycles. All things go back to balance. A lot of the stuff we're dealing with now, the housing prices, the inflation, the lack of wages keeping up with the cost of living, those things will work themselves out eventually. Because it'll get to the point where people just won't put up with it, and there'll have to be some type of change. So I'm optimistic for that. But, how we get there and when we get there, we'll see. Hey, quotes, glad we could give you some encouragement. That's awesome. I'm always ultimately optimistic. Not to mention, even, whatever circumstances we're going through, we can figure out ways around it. There's always opportunity. There's always a different way of doing things. There's always your own unique perspective. There's always like, you putting your own little flavor on it, figuring things out for you and your family. So like, always overall optimistic. But the normal, regular stuff, times like these, it ain't the move. It's not the move. When the blueprint stops working, it almost becomes detrimental. You know what I mean? That's what happens. When the blueprint stops working, it almost starts working against you. Yeah, Nick, you're right. That there will be there'll definitely be some uproar as the system rebalances, as always. But at least we know one day it will balance. Harold said, try to be self-employed. That's a move. That's a move. And that's one that, like, if the job loss that they're projecting comes along, you're going to see more and more people. We're going to get back to that really, like, you want to see people get real entrepreneurial, make it be like a necessity. It's like, we laugh at the dudes on the side of the road washing the windows, but them dudes is out there hustling. They bringing in some cash. You know what I mean? Like, when it gets down to like, oh, this is your only option. You got to figure out a way to bring some money in. We get real entrepreneurial again. And we get real entrepreneurial again, then even when the jobs come back, people like, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So it all is going to work out, you know? Oh, got the J. Cole lyrics. I see you, ex skeptic. What good is revolution when we know what they're going to do? The only real revolution happens right inside of you. Bars. Bars. Do I have a plan for the day when the painful knees are a factor? Well, I'm hoping I'm not using my knees when that when that day comes along. Or it might just be I have to work with painful knees. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm hoping I won't be on my knees that much. You know. Hey, Derek, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's just I mean, even something like Social Security, and I think a lot of people, especially like my generation, don't like we're not banking on it, you know. But like there are some people who are just like, oh, when I get my social, like people my age, oh, then you do this, and Social Security, you might pay. I'm like, bro, I'm not banking on any Social Security. I think if you're in your 40s, maybe even 50s, and you banking on Social Security, you setting yourself up for failure. You know, I just don't know. You know what I mean? That the goal is to find ways to fund my lifestyle into my golden years without a check. If they still sending out checks, cool. That's just extra money that I can reinvest or use it if I need it. But like I'm not banking on thousand, 1,500, $2,000 a month coming in from the government when I get 69, which it'll probably be like 73 by then. I just damn, it's just not looking, you know. And I don't say that to like scare anybody, but I'm just like I would just have that in the back of my mind, you know. But the good news is, they always say drastic times call for drastic measures. The good news is there's typically always some drastic measures that can be taken, you know. But it's just we got to be open to looking into them. I think a lot of people just blindly forge ahead with what they've always known. I think sometimes you got to start looking at the drastic stuff, you know. We'll get, we'll get $100 from Social Security. Hey, or retires when 19. You got your first Social Security check. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. The day gonna come when the kids ain't gonna know what that means. Social Security check. They gonna be like, is that when they stop you at the airport? Social Security check. Is that when they do random stops on the street? Check on your Social Security? Like, nah, that's used to get a check. They used to give old people money. They be like, huh? Nah, that ain't true, Grandpa. That ain't true, Grandpa. They used to just hand out checks to you once you got to be 65. Why? So, well, you worked your whole life and paid into it, then they gave you some of it back. They like, that ain't true. You lying. You lying. The government would never do that. The government doesn't give money back. You used to get tax returns too. They're like, what? You used to pay your taxes all year and then they give you some of it back. The kid's gonna be like, nah, stop. The government don't give no money back. We in $8 gazillion debt. How could they give money back? I'm telling you. Okay. Enjoy all this stuff. And once again, I'm not being doom and gloom. I'm kind of being funny. But like enjoy all this stuff. Enjoy all these checks now. We might I do think we'll have another round of like stimulus. I think we have, you know, a lot enough in the imaginary coffers for if it gets weird again, you know, there's another round of stimmy checks maybe. Um, but after that, I don't know about these free checks. Harold said one should pray to God and ask Him for advice. What will you be the best at? Hey, I'm all for that, Harold. I'm all for prayer. Um, I think prayer is twofold. It allows you to communicate with the divine, um, and express your concerns and intentions with the divine, which is always helpful. I think it's like children talking to parents. And I also think it helps to it in order for me to tell God what's going on, I got to know what's going on. And so I think a regular practice of prayer helps you to keep focused. And it's good to, convene which that which is. Hey, ex skeptic. I can be confident with predictions because I learned something. I'm gonna put y'all up on game. You only have to be right like 2 out of 10 times. Think about it. Think about and I try to only say stuff like if I don't think it's a real prediction, I'm like I'm playing. But if you think about all these like analysts and experts and everything, they predict all this craziness. None of it ever comes true. But the one time it does, they're set for life. Everybody believes everything they say. I'll give you a prime example, and not saying he's never right, hasn't been right since, but the guy, the Big Short guy, you know, the guy who predicted like the 2008 collapse or whatever, um, they put that on everything. He could be wrong the rest of his life, but he got it right once, so people believe him. All these people, like you follow these experts, all you got to do is be right one time, and you're an expert. That's how people just get on the internet and say anything. As long as they get one or 2 out of 10 right. So, like I said, I'm not really genuinely predicting. Some stuff some like if I really believe it, I'll be like, oh, like I believe this is gonna happen. I could be wrong, but I think it's gonna happen. Some stuff like now, when Social Security goes away and tax returns go away, y'all gonna be like, Tim said that. Who was that dude? Kind of young dude, but had a lot of gray hair. Who was that dude that said this was gonna happen? You know, Nostradamus was right 5% of the time. Yeah, and that's like the name for if you're good at predicting the future. What are you, Nostradamus? Like, telling you, you don't have to. You don't have to be right. That's a good point, David. No one remembers the people who predicted good times. That's true. That's actually a really good point. That's a good point. Um, yeah, actually, that is a good point. Long term, yeah, I think you're right. Because even people who've been right, like financially, people forget it quickly. A lot of times, like history forgets it. The people who are like, "Oh, I think the market's going to go up," and it does. In the moment, people remember. But like history remembers the doom and gloomers. I feel like that's an interesting point. 101. I think faith makes things happen. I firmly do. Yeah, I think faith makes things happen. Because then, like, if you have faith something's gonna happen, you'll put in the work. You'll do your part to make it happen. But like, if you don't have faith it's gonna happen, you're not gonna do your part. So, and some things might still happen, but I think a lot of the things that could happen don't happen because we don't have faith that they can happen. my thoughts on the Simpsons predictions. They got a smart group of. Well, here's the thing: the Simpsons have made how many thousands of episodes, so there's tons of stuff that like they predicted that didn't happen. So once again, they just have to be right 3 times, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean? How many episodes there are? You just have to be right a couple times, and suddenly like the whole show is full of like future seers or whatever. Like same game. Same game. I see you. What up? What up, Lee? We already talked about that. William Lee. But definitely prayers for everybody in LA, the families, people who lost loved ones, lost housing. I mean, like definitely prayers for them. Yeah, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, it's always devastating to see anyone lose anything, but like when you see large amounts of people just lose it, it's crazy. Like it's I don't know, like it's hard to even have words other than like prayers. My thoughts on UBI, I personally don't think it's gonna work, but yeah, no, I people argue with me about it a lot. Um, Now a good portion of the people who argue with me about it have never looked into it. They've just heard someone talk about it. So, but then you get some people who have looked into it and still believe in it. So I don't know. I just wonder if just giving everybody money worked. Why hasn't anyone done it on a large scale? Let me repeat that. Why hasn't anyone done it on a large scale yet? That's all I'm saying. I have a question about it. You'd think if that was the answer, we'd have done it years ago. Just give everybody gold, fix the economy. Not to mention if we're already trillions of dollars in debt. Like where are we getting the money from to give it to people? That's my other question. Where is the money coming from to give to people if we're already trillions of dollars in debt? So do we go in more debt? Like we can't tax the people because that would defeat the purpose. We're going to tax you, give you the money right back. That's defeating the purpose. So like, and yeah, if you do it at a smaller scale, of course it works. If in a town of 20,000 people we give 1,000 people extra money, of course that 1,000 people is going to do better. But if you give all 20,000 extra money, prices are just going to go up because everybody's going to have an extra $1,000 to spend. Supply, demand, like it's yeah, Jared. The government's going to print the money, and that's going to have us in a worse situation than before. Part of the reason we're in the situation. Here's another thing I predicted. Those of you who was around back in 2020, I said I'm taking this the stimulus money. I'm taking this unemployment money. I'm taking all this free money, but we are going to pay for it in the future. I said that many times. Every time they sent me that $830 check every week, I was like, I'm taking the money, and I was buying cars and all kind of stuff with it. But I'm like, I'm going to pay for this in the future. Fast forward, inflation goes crazy, prices go, through the roof. No one's making the connection. No one's making the connection. So like when people talk about UBI, I'm like, we're literally right in the middle of a situation, hopefully near the end of it, where like they gave us a bunch of money. 2 years later, we paid the price. Why do you think them giving us more money is going to be any different this time? This is why I say I think a lot of times when people, it sounds great. Oh, they'll just give us free money. Everybody will have enough money to like live comfortably. Prices will just go up. That's just me. I could be wrong. UBI could be the solution. It could usher in amazing utopia between AI and UBI. It might be the best thing ever. Who knows? I just don't see it. I'm excited for AI, but yeah. Not to mention, once you get people dependent on checks, then you got them. If you think we're living in existence where we feel trapped now, wait until people's main income is a check in the mail from the government, and see how unfree you feel when the monitoring that they're doing suddenly turns into dictating what you can and can't do, or you won't be able to keep getting your check. You know, once again, not to be doom and gloom. The student loan thing turned out great. Which that was another one I said. I was like, they're going to have to start for. Here's why they had to forgive student loans. Well, they're going to have to do even more. There's so many student loans out there that if people kept not paying them, it was going to have a major impact on the economy. That's why they did it. It wasn't out of the goodness of their heart. No, they don't care. They had to start repaying some of those loans because it's just too much money not being repaid. It was going to have a major impact on the economy, not to mention so many of the big banks and things like that. So they had to start repaying, and they're going to do more of it, I'm sure. But I told people years ago, don't pay your student loans. They're gonna forgive them. I probably shouldn't have said that. You know, if you owe, pay your stuff if you can. But they're gonna start forget. They have to. They have to. I'm telling you, you have to research this stuff. You don't have to if you don't want to. But like that's why they repaid student loans. That's how I knew they was gonna do it. Tell me, you don't. He's just a YouTuber. And I could be wrong about any of this, folks. But I'm optimistic that all of this stuff eventually is going to go back to balance. I may not be here to see it. I'll be somewhere else, you know, moonbeam over the planet Zarthon, something like that. But I think it's all going to balance out. Praveen, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. So glad you're still live streaming, Tim. You give me hope that everything will be okay. Had an extremely stressful 45 minutes with family. Okay now. Glad to hear you're okay. Sorry to hear you had that stressful time with family, but glad to hear you're okay. Feeling better now. That's why we like to get on here and live stream. You know, if the community being active and live can be helpful to somebody, we're trying to do that. So thank you so much for being for the love. Thank you. T-Rex president, great question. And it gets us back on track. I think you find peace in the current world by finding it like internally. If you just look out at the world and you're waiting for the world to change for you to get your peace, you're gonna be waiting a while because we're living in one of the time periods. But like, if you, for example, like I don't watch the news. I'm not tapped into all the craziness that's going on. I spend a lot of time in the woods and nature. Okay, when I'm out in the woods, I'm out in nature. No other human beings around, or very few human beings around. I get very at peace because all this stuff. I'm not worried about money. I'm not worried about inflation. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm out there with the trees and the rocks and the grass and the rivers, and none of them is worried about this stuff. You know, so like that's part of the reason I love nature so much is it separates me and allows me to realize that even on this planet, there's a whole nother vibe going on. And I try to be part of that vibe way more than this human vibe stuff. And I also realize that like I have the power, no matter what's going on, to like live my life, dictate like what happens as much as possible in my life. So like, yeah, I may be affected by inflation and other things like that, but it doesn't have to be totally my life. I'm tapped in on my goals and what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to have as much freedom as possible to do those things. And I'll be honest, I get peace from the fact that like this is temporary. I made it to 45. I'm trying to manifest living to 90 plus. If that's meant for me, I'm halfway home. I only got to deal with this for about another 40, 50 years. I'm halfway home, bro. all this stuff, we can discuss it, we can talk about it, it impacts us some, but like it doesn't have to be totally what my life's about. If I got a roof over my head, if I've got food to eat today, if I've got people who love me and I love them, I'm good. Like, and I'm just trying to keep that going. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to keep that going no matter what they do, as well as pursuing my hobbies and passions. Some years it'll be easy to do that, other years not as easy. Some years they'll make it harder to do that, sometimes it won't. You know what I mean? Like it's just my goals and like my outlook is bigger than all that. This is the time period maybe I asked to live in or I was put in. I just have to accept the world around me. But like I'm gonna keep going and doing what I'm trying to do, regardless of what they do. And like I just try to stay in that kind of bubble, um, and not just get wrapped up in what's going on. Because honestly, a lot of this stuff, if you didn't know what was going on, you wouldn't know what was going on. One of the reasons I love working at remote seasonal jobs is a lot of times they ain't got TVs. Nobody's watching the news. I damn sure ain't bringing it up, pulling it up on my phone. You know what I mean? I'll go 6 months and not know what's going on. But I think we have to actively push away all the stressful, as much as possible, disconnect from all that. And then the stuff that like is not possible to disconnect from, we just have to deal with, but also put our stuff to the forefront, and just realize that no matter what is going on in the world, we still have the power to like do our stuff on some level. John, thank you. Super Chat Squad. So real talk, I personally don't want a government anymore. Well, that goes back to my earlier point. We're always going to have government because that's what we do as humans in some form or another. Hey, gracious one. Thank you. Super Chat Squad, Super Chat Train. Yes, thank you. Said everything's going to be okay. Bitcoin, crypto looking good over government money control, but still studying what it's about. And I think that's a good, hey, let me look for other alternatives. This fiat money, this government backed currency ain't looking too hot. Let me look into something else. Instead of dismissing crypto is crazy because you can't touch it, which most people don't carry cash anymore, so they don't touch their money anyway. But yeah, just hey, let me look into something different. Let me see if there's alternatives. Let me figure out what works best for me. Um, yeah, yeah. Gracious one, thank you. Appreciate the love. Thank you. Yeah, I bought me a very small amount of Bitcoin the other day. Like very small. Been listening to Yelawolf. I ain't heard any Yelawolf in a while. A roof over your back, a shirt on your stomach, and food in your mouth. That's funny. That's funny, Derek. Shout out to Derek's Pops. Hey, I appreciate seeing that, blessed. Thank you. I mean, yeah, Jay, I respect your opinion. I just don't understand. Yeah, yeah. Like, why argue about it? Like, if you, this is the thing with investing. If you don't believe in an investment, this will invest in it. If other people do, let them. Like, I know you probably say, well, I don't want people losing money, but I was talking to somebody just the other day who made a lot of money recently at Bitcoin. That's why, like, I'm very open minded. Any investment, it might long term be crap, but if people make money on it in the short term, can you say it's a bad investment? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about Bitcoin. A lot of people have made a lot of money in it, so you can't say it's a bad investment. You can say you don't think it's a good long-term investment. You can say you're not going to invest because like you don't know what's going to happen with the future regulation, boom, boom, boom. I get it. But I don't think anyone can say Bitcoin is a bad investment when so many people have made so much money off of it. Like, until this is the way I look at it, until my investments make as much as other people have made off their investments, I'm not going to say it's a bad investment. Even if you think, oh, my investments over the long term are going to make more, but like until if they're getting 3,000% or whatever, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm just happy people making their coins. You know what I mean? Like I got no skin in the game. I just, you know what I mean? I don't care about one investment over the other. If it's making some money, and people did their research and they getting their coins up because of it, I'm happy for them. Now, could they lose it later? Yes, but like, you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Get your coins. Zay, I guess we got to use money because they invented it. I wish we didn't have to use it either. Intently, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, intently purposeful, thank you. So people like to crap on disconnecting. It could literally be life and death for my sanity. I stay disconnected. I agree with you, and it's awesome that like you know yourself, so like I gotta disconnect. But yeah, people who once again we were talking about this earlier. When it comes like watching the news and the people who are like so tapped in and all that, they're usually not the happiest people you know. They're usually not the joyful people. The people who are so tapped in and connected are usually like in this society, usually the most, you know what I mean? Also, like if you feel like disconnecting, do it. It works. It feels good. You just like if you don't know all the bad stuff going on, you can't worry about it. Because if you know all the bad stuff going on and you worry about it, even if it ends up happening to you, you still can't stop it. So yeah, I don't be wanting to know. If it's something important, someone will let me know. Hey, yeah, yeah, Razakati, we still here for a little bit. We still here. You can't block the news on your phone. I don't get no news on my phone. I don't. Every now and then on YouTube, they'll try to sneak some news in, and I say do not recommend. Yeah, I don't get no news on my phone. They be trying to put stuff on there. Nope, nope. Them all them apps, because they like to preload you with all that stuff. So I just delete it. Like, how are you getting news? How are you getting unwanted news, Praveen? There's stuff you can't delete off your phone. You might need a new phone. Mm. Nah, they don't. Ryan, I love the Denver airport. I'll be at the Denver airport all the time. People have all these weird stories about the Denver airport. I'm like, I'll be at the Denver airport all the time. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what y'all talking about. Yeah, the blue horse statue or the statue out front is a little weird. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I love the Denver airport. I guess because I'm there a lot, so it makes sense to me now. But yeah, I love the Denver airport. They chill out. I like it. ATL is a busy one. I like the Atlanta airport because you can walk from like it's easy to like when I have a layover, I don't just sit in one place typically. I just like to walk. So I'll walk from like gate A all the way to gate F. Oh, here's a here's a little tip if you're at the Atlanta airport. Here's a tip if you're at the Atlanta airport. Go even if you're on a local, like if you're on local flight, like domestic, if you have a long layover, go to the international terminal. I think it's F, something like that. I'm not sure. Go to the international terminal because it's way nicer than like the regular terminals where you wait. So if you've got hours, yeah, just hop on the little tram or walk and go to the international terminal, and it's super nice in there. It's super nice. The regular domestic ones, they cramped and crowded. Yeah, go to the international one. Little tip, little tip. But yeah, I love the Denver airport. And I realized like if you go early in the morning, there's like I went through TSA at like 2 in the morning one time. There was nobody in line. It was great. I didn't even think they were open. Even like the TSA agents were like just chilling. I was like, y'all open? They was like, yeah, just nobody comes this early. So I'm like, if I have early flights, I go super early. Earlier you go, less people. Oh, the international terminals E. Okay, thanks, CG Garrett. Yeah, I tell you, it's nice down there. I was like, oh, they got all this. I'm like, why am I down there on Terminal A, cramped? You know, now they do have the Popeyes down there. I think it's on B. I think B. They got the Popeyes. You know, you do got to go down there and get your Popeyes first. You know, but then you take it over there to the international terminal. It's chilling, man. It's chilling. Nah, Nick, I don't do pre-check. I don't be in a hurry. Like I just get to the airport 2 hours early. Like I don't. Yeah, I don't really. I didn't feel like going through the paperwork. Right. I don't. I'm. Yeah. I just get to the airport super early, so I don't really like. I don't mind standing in line. You know. Hey Norman, sending hugs back to you. Thank you. Yeah, I thought about a buddy of mine got TSA pre-check, and I thought about it, and I was like, do I need to get through TSA quicker just to go sit? Like, I don't know. Yeah, you know, I just get there super early. I don't really have much to do. Yeah, nah, Angela, Popeyes is a D. Popeyes is like B. You have to buy your Popeyes, then you got to take it to eat. The international terminal, they're not finna have Popeyes. They not finna. Besides, people would never leave. People, yeah, you got to get your Popeyes first. Bingo. Would I live in Vegas? I actually thought about it. See, Garrett, I was there. Was it a couple months last year in the summer? Bad idea, very hot. Um, oh no, last summer I was there for a month. Last year I was there for a month. The year before that I was there for like 2 months. But I really thought about it. I really thought about because the cost of living is good in Vegas. Like Vegas has a good cost of living, and once you get outside of like the strip, it's Vegas is a vibe. Like Vegas is a cool city to me. Um, the Fremont Street and the casinos and the strip aside, Vegas is a cool city, and they got a WNBA team. So I thought about it, but it just gets too hot there in the summer, bro. Like I don't know. Jose Monte, I believe God's got your back too. I think God's got all of our back. Like, yeah, I genuinely believe that. Oh, Nick, you got pre-check, so you don't have to take off your shoes or belt or jacket. I got you. I got you. Oh, I'm not knocking it. I just, I'm like, all right, honestly, I just don't want to go through the process of signing up for it. It's probably really, really what it is. Popeyes. This stream is not sponsored by Popeyes. Oh, Vegas is about to blow. Like I'm telling you, like it's going to turn into a family friendly town. Vegas is going to be it's going to turn into a sports town. They're really trying to build up the sports. So I could see. I mean, it's always going to be Sin City, but I can see in the future it not being known for that as much, or it'll equally be known as a sports town. Um, but yeah, I think Vegas is a vibe. Like, yeah, if it wasn't so hot, yeah, Vegas would definitely be somewhere I would consider staying. Yeah, yeah, the Vegas airport. But that blew my mind the first time I flew into Vegas and I saw the slot machines at the airport. I'm like, they don't even let you get off the plane, bro. I'm like, if you play in the slots in Vegas at the airport, either you just got off the plane and you couldn't wait, so you started playing the slots, or you are leaving and you couldn't let go. So you on the machines one last time for you leave. Either way, I'm like, or maybe you're on a layover, but who has a layover in Vegas? Um, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a layover in Vegas. But yeah, I was like, wow, if you got to be playing, if you got to be gambling at the airport, hmm. What up, Steve? Miss to be loved. How you doing? Oh, Mud, you be bouncing down to Vegas on your days off? Nice, nice. $50 hotel rooms? Okay. Keith, I have traveled via Amtrak many times. Yes, I love Amtrak. If Amtrak went everywhere I was trying to go, I probably would take Amtrak a lot more. Yeah, I love Amtrak. Yeah, I did cross. When did I did cross country? Was that 2023? I went from Seattle to Washington D.C. That was cool. That might have been 2022. Stopped in Chicago along the way. That was cool. I went from Seattle to Chicago, and Chicago to Washington D.C. Damn near coast to coast. Like that was cool. That was a vibe. Highly recommend that. I took a roomette when I went from Portland to Denver when I was coming here earlier this year, and it goes from Portland to Sacramento, then Sacramento to Denver, and I took a roomette um, from the Sacramento to Denver leg of it. I had a roomette. I'd never done that before, so that was a little bucket list type thing, and that was a vibe. It's pricey. It's very pricey. It's almost not worth it, but if you can afford it, it's worth it. Like I can't afford it. That was a bucket list. The only reason yeah. But you get your own little room on the train with a bed in it, and your meals are included, so you get to eat in the dining car for free. It's already paid for. It's pretty. And I didn't do the shower, but there's a shower apparently. Yeah, the Sphere was a vibe. Portland, Maine has taxidermy animals. I gotta get up there. I gotta get up to Maine. Um, would I like a country or a place without government intervention? I don't necessarily think government is always bad. Like humans are always going to choose to be governed. I just think we need good government. You know, slots on the planes. That would be crazy. Oh, Colorado is a vibe. Jose Montez. Yeah, Colorado's very beautiful. Yeah. What up, Patrick? Good to see you. Norman said, "This is my countdown years to never again in my life to work a 9 to 5. Come December 2025, I'm done working for others. My music and art is doing amazing, like always. So happy for 2025. I'm blessed. Let's go. That's awesome, Norman. That's awesome. I can't wait to January 1st, 2026. So you can be like, I'm done. I'm done." Yeah, we got the granted. Yeah, I've been had this shirt. Yeah, I had this shirt for a while. Nevada is in the top 10 most expensive housing states in the country right now. I don't think Vegas is, though. I don't think Vegas is. Vegas, I found that the housing didn't seem as pricey as far as like the places I would potentially stay. I mean, it might be because there probably are in the Vegas area some like big money houses. But as far as just like the regular housing, it actually seemed pretty cheap. Have I done the Amtrak Zephyr route? I think that was the California Zephyr. Yeah. I've done that too. Yeah. I think that's the route when you go from Seattle down to Sacramento. I think that's the Zephyr. Yeah. Ryan, I went to New York City when I was 5, so I don't count that. So no, I haven't. So I do got to. New York is on my list. Yeah, definitely been to Phoenix. Phoenix was. I went there for a wedding. My friend Abby got married. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like. I didn't got nothing against it, but there was. I don't know if I ever go back unless I have a reason. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it'd be cool to go to a Mercury game or something, but like I don't know. I mean, Phoenix. Yeah, yeah, you know. Hike with Mike said, "I'm wicked tired. Oh, get some sleep." I have not been to Pennsylvania. I haven't been to the Northeast corridor at all. Is that what they call it? Northeast corridor? I'm trying to sound educated. So no, I need to do that. That's on the list. Would paying for housing ever be worth it on a seasonal job, or better to suck it up in free housing to make more money? Oh, actually, skate. Like most of the housing isn't free. Um, most of the housing, like they charge you. They just take it out of your check. So now they do have some places that have free housing. And if they had if you see a seasonal job that actually has free housing, yeah, it might be worth it to take it. But most of them is not free. It's just they take it out of your check, so you don't see it, so it feels free. Um, Something bit me. What is there? Something on my arm? But yeah, like if free housing is an option, I mean, just think of the money you can save in 4 or 5 months not paying rent. You know, you did the application fees over fax, guys. Yeah, that's a lot time ago. $400 a month for a hotel for an apartment. That's nice. But the good news is, Skate, that like it's I think at the YMCA I was paying 680 a month. It was 640, but they raised it. So 680 a month for my own room and 3 meals a day. That ain't too bad. That ain't bad. So uh T Rex, I have been watching women's basketball. I don't really watch volleyball. It's just not. But the good news is gymnastics is back. So, gymnastics is back. So I've been watching. I'm actually got a lot to watch tonight because I'm behind. But they're doing a lot of quad meets in gymnastics. I don't like the quad meets because you can't see everything. There's too much going on. But when they get through all these quads and it gets to the better part of the season. So yeah, you know me. I stay up on my basketball. Um, but now I'm watching gymnastics too. So I did check out women's cricket. Yes, for sure, I did, and I couldn't get into it. I don't know what's going on. I tried. I was sitting there. I got about 10 minutes. I said I can't do it. I don't understand it. I did though. I did though. I did though. Okay, we gonna okay. We're not gonna have people coming in here talking trash like that. Um, I tried though. Yeah, volleyball's another one. Like I've tried to watch volleyball and I just don't get excited over it. Basketball, yeah. Um, Gymnastics, yeah. Softball, definitely. There's so a lot I like, but like volleyball, I just can't, get into it. Hey, Jose Montez, 45 in May. Trying to be financially free and live in peace right now on the stage of my life. That's a great goal. That's the same age, same goal. Same age, same goal. Let's go. You don't understand the rules of cricket or tennis? Yeah, I'm not a big tennis fan. Pickleball, I watch. Anna Bright. Shout out to Anna Bright. That's the pickleball player I watch the most when I can. Like pickleball, I like. Tennis, I don't know. I don't know why I like pickleball but not tennis. Yeah, I like Anna Bright. And was it Anna Lee Waters? I think she's pretty cool too. When they team up together, that's my jam. You was paying $200 a month for a room when you was younger, Jessica. That's that vibe right there. Yeah, I was thinking back about a lot of the rooms I've rented um in the past. Yeah, I think I had the first room I went rented was in Gainesville, and this was probably 2011, 12. It was like $300 a month, and then 300 a month, and like a third of the utilities because I had two roommates. So it was really like $340 a month. Man, those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah, man. Those, wow. You pay 930 for a room in Colorado. That ain't bad, right? Actually, that's decent these days. T Rex. I played a lot of like strategy games, so like Age of Empires and Power Monger and Command and Conquer. Like those are the games I like to play. You pay 29.80 in New York. Please tell me that's like a house. Oh wow, that's Nick's paying 750 a month in your own room apartment with two roommates. That's, I mean, that's decent. That's decent. That's decent. I never got into Civilization, Ted. I was actually watching John from Mini a True Nerd play it recently. It was okay. That's a one bedroom. Patrick won. I mean, hey, if you, hey, hey, if your coins is up like that, respect, respect. That's, that seemed a little steep to me. But obviously you in the position to pay that. So hey, I'm sure it's got its perks. Hoping it better be a good location. Never played Zelda. Never played Zelda. No. 3 grand a month. Hey, it ain't a recession for everybody. Is what. Oh man. 800 for a small one bedroom condo. See, that's the vibe right there. I would totally pay that. I'd totally pay that. Yeah, that's why I don't think I could live in New York. Swift said, get a car, van, move in it. I mean, if that's like for the people who would enjoy that, cool. I just don't think I want to live in a car or van. I just don't. Oh, well, I don't have a car and I don't want to buy one, so that's that. But like, even when I had one, I spent some nights in it, but like, I think that was enough to let me know. Like, I don't just think it would be me long term. Van Bill. uh, your mortgage in Florida's yeah, Florida's cost of living is, I go back home and like, they'd be complaining about prices on like housing and stuff, or like there'd be a brand new house and they're like, man, that house is like $300,000. I'm like, where can you buy a brand new house for $300,000? They're like, man, some of them are really pricey. They're like 400,000. I'm like, bro, that's regular. That's cheap. It'd be cheap down there. Some places. Yeah, Patrick one. That I could see you not wanting to live there no more. That's a lot to put out every month. Yeah, Angela, I don't think I could do with them 100-degree temperatures and yeah, nah, not nah, nah, nah. I'm good. Yeah, I did it in Vegas. That's what blew my car up to 113-degree temperatures. Nah, but I mean it got me living car free again, so I can't be too mad because car free is a vibe. You know, prices are better in Wyoming. I can believe it. What is Wyoming is the least populated state, right? I think it's Wyoming or one of the least populated. It's a vibe. I could, other than seasonal work, I couldn't afford to live there. But Jackson Hole is a vibe. I'd love to get back there just to visit. Like Jackson Hole was a vibe, bro. Like, but I mean, there's nowhere to live in Jackson Hole. Um, you'd probably be facing New York prices, but Jackson Hole is a vibe. Like, it was cool. But it's a great place to van dwell. Surprisingly, um, yeah, very like you can park up on the street and they don't bother you as long as you. I think it was like as long as you move every 48 hours or something. Um, but yeah, No, I don't have another pin. I only have one pin. I threw it over there, Angela. But yeah, Wyoming, Jackson Hole was definitely a vibe. Kansas is cheap. I imagine if Kansas was expensive, I'd be like, it's over. When Kansas, you can't afford to live in Kansas, it's over. It's over. When people are like, man, the cost of living in Kansas is through the roof. Whew. Yeah, car freeze, that vibe. When I hear Passport Bro, like BTS, I obviously think of what everyone says Passport Bros means. But if I'm honest, I think very little about. I don't really hear people say Passport Bros much. Um, Patrick, your coworker is selling his house to buy a good RV to get his finances to the next level. Only person encouraging him. Yeah, people. You're right. People stuck in the programming. And I mean, you can kind of understand it. It's all they know. What else? From like unless you know been open minded and looked into stuff yourself, for a lot of people, it still seems crazy. The numbers are getting better every year. Um, but it's a lot of people still think it's crazy. But a lot of those people will look up 10 years from now and wonder where all their wealth went. And your friend will be chilling in his RV, stacked up good, moneyed. You know what I mean? I would love to visit Africa, T Rex. I don't know if I want to go on a safari though. Like I would go on a safari with somebody. Like when I find my travel partner, yeah, I imagine she would be like, "Let's go on a safari," and I'd be like, "Okay," but I don't know if I would. But I definitely want to go to Africa. But you know me, I just be chilling. Like I just walk around. Like I feel like a safari would be like super expensive, and I'd be just as content to like walk around the city, maybe find a park. Yeah, Jose, I'm still in Colorado. Yeah. Yeah, Oliver, I just walk around, see what was naturally there. Like safari seemed like it would be very touristy and expensive. Oh, rent is going up in Kansas? It's over. No, joking. Tim's on. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that. Like I'm here. What part of Africa do you live in? I might. Hey, Tim's on. I'm here. You said you host me. You that include free food? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, Africa is definitely on the list to go. Have I ever lived in a luxury apartment? No, I have lived in some luxurious Airbnbs. The place I stayed in Vegas was super nice. Like it was so nice though when my one night when my Uber driver dropped me off, he was like, "Dang, this house is nice." I'm like, "What are you trying to say? Like, why is that so crazy that I'm getting dropped off here?" Now I thought that kind of, but it was really nice. Like it was a really nice house. Like the only problem was like I was nervous the whole time because it was funny. My first night there, I forget what it was, but I did something. I was moving something, and I scratched the dresser. First night, like first hour there, I put a gash in the dresser, and I was like, oh. So like I waited till the next day, and my hostess there was amazing. Um, and so I called her. I was like, hey, I was like, I got to show you something. Um, which it was just weird because like I was like, I got to show you something in my room. And I could see she was like a little hesitant to like walk in there, not majorly, but I saw there was a little because we just met, and I'm like, hey, I got to show you something in my room, and she was kind of like how you see somebody debate in their mind, like, and she was like, oh, this guy's a good guy, but there was that like split second of like, should I go in this room? And then she came in, and I was like, hey, I dropped the chair or whatever, and it scratched the dresser, and she was like, what? She's like, I don't care. It's a dresser. She was like, I'll just paint back over it, whatever. I was like, oh, she was like, the house is nice, but the stuff in here is cheap. I was like, oh, she's like, the house is nice. She's like, the stuff in this room is cheap. It looks good, but it's cheap. She was super cool. I really liked her. But so yeah, I've stayed in some nice places, but I've never like rented. I don't think I would rent the luxury apart. Like it just like what would be the point, you know? Yeah, like that was funny. Yeah, I was like, let me show you something. Let me show you something in my room. She was like, "Mhm." Oh boy, this every time I mention Airbnb goddess, someone says that like literally every time. It's always funny, which I respect it. I got nothing to hide, so the thought of hidden cameras doesn't bother me. Like I don't really like. What would you? But once again, I'm very open and out there. So, but yeah, I love Airbnb. Airbnb changed the travel game. So I mean, between Uber and Airbnb, you can literally, or whatever car service they have around the world, you can literally with just your cell phone fly to almost anywhere in the world and be fine. You know what I mean? Like you can literally on your phone get where you need to go and have a place to stay pretty much anywhere in the world. Like that's game changing without, what I mean, having to use a credit card, nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's game changing. And honestly, like that, especially here in the US, has been, I mean, but anywhere in the world, but especially here in the US, like travel is like, you know what I mean? All you have to do is book the flight, book the train, take an Uber book an Airbnb, take an Uber from the airport to the Airbnb, like boom, like you don't have to talk to nobody, you don't have to pull out no credit card, you know what I mean? Like, but definitely that's why I like Airbnbs in other countries. Like when I went to Thailand last year, all Airbnb. I didn't have to talk to nobody. I mean, I talked to the Grab driver on the way over, but like, you know what I mean? I got to my Airbnb. I went to the mailbox. I put in the code. I got my key. I went up to my room. I didn't have to talk to nobody. It avoided that awkward get to the hotel in another country. Y'all speak the same language. You know what I mean? You're scared that your credit card doesn't go through. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to jump off. Been going for like 3.5 hours. Honestly, my voice is starting to go just a little bit. I haven't been drinking enough water. So I'm going to jump off. I got some sports to watch, some women's sports to watch. It's going to be a great night. Got some prayers to say. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Been a great stream. I appreciate the love. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. I appreciate the support. Appreciate Angela, the world's finest moderator, coming through moderating for us. Thank you all for being a part of my evening and making it special and allowing me to feel that love, that energy I always get from y'all. Hopefully, y'all felt that too, coming from each other, coming from me. I hope y'all have an amazing week. We've already got our video for this week filmed. So, oh, by the way, someone last stream mentioned um, cloud editing software or cloud editing, and I looked into that. Thank you so much for that. I think I'm going to start doing that. So hopefully I can start doing more editing in my videos for y'all, showing y'all more things. Anyway, stay blessed, stay grateful, keep living in abundance, keep realizing how much power you actually have in this world. I love y'all. Talk to y'all soon.